Welcome to the award-winning In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Coming up, the CEO of eBliss Global. You'll hear my thoughts on driving the new 2024 Lexus RX 450h Plus Mars.
You sure?
If you didn't see our tease, you'll understand why I'm giving him a little ribbing, because he pulled a quick one on me and put some other vehicle in there, and dummy me read it.
Did a little hokey pokey.
But we're going to do that review and not one from shows in the future.
Shows past.
Mars has this week's events calendar. That's all just ahead on In Wheel Time 3-hour Car Talk Show. Howdy, along with Bike Out of This World Mars. We always need more Jeff Zekin. Engineer David Daisley is sleeping in this morning. I'm Don Armstrong. Boy, we got just back in time for our show this morning after a week-long vacation in the lovely city of Granbury and the Lone Star Street Rod Association State Run. Isn't that right, Mr. Mars?
Yeah.
Haven't even had a time up there.
Haven't even had a chance to take a shower yet.
We know.
Just kidding.
Kidding. Oh, you'll never hear the end of that. Just kidding.
Yeah, but I've got it recorded now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll trade you.
It's 2 against 1.
Hey, don't get me in this.
No.
I don't know whether you and Sue's against him.
You're gonna help me kill him after the show. Anyway. Let's get right to our first guest, shall we? His name is Mr. Bill Clem. He's the CEO of eBliss Global and the Always Bike brand. Bill, good morning to you.
Good morning.
It's good to have you with us, and thank you very much. Bill, first of all, tell us what the eBliss Global company is.
So we design, manufacture, and retail electric bicycles or e-bikes. We differently than most companies, we've taken a ground-up approach and redesigned the entire biking experience through our product and then our delivery system. Our primary delivery system is automotive dealerships, so it merges with my 35 years of experience being in the automotive and transportation industry, so we are rolling out across the U.S. in automotive dealerships.
Do you have any dealerships that says, you buy this car, we'll give you one of these electric bikes?
It's happening right now. So, in fact, anybody on your listeners who's driving on the 60 in LA will see a jumbotron with one of the local dealers displaying all of our bikes for 225,000 people a day. So, yeah, it's happening. Western Michigan, LA, Hawaii. We're on a roll.
Well, you're not the only electric bike maker around, are you?
No. There's about 50 or 60 of them in the United States today. And I think what we try and differentiate ourselves is on the consumer experience. So we're focusing in on the ridership experience and the ownership experience. So we design all of our units to be completely sealed for transmissions, no chains, all belt drives, all hydraulic braking systems. So we've engineered out about 85% of the maintenance on the bike. So this is one of the things consumers really want. From my years in Ford Motor Company and on the maintenance and light repair business at Ford, consumers really would like to just enjoy their vehicle and not necessarily have it in the store to get maintained. So that's one of our big differences.
And I understand that you guys also have a leg up on battery and storage and longevity. You can go quite a ways on the bike.
Yeah, so we've engineered, so again, everything is around engineering what you want the customer to experience. So we have bikes that'll do 200 miles on a charge, which is pretty respectable. There's some cars that don't go 200 miles.
Oh, yeah, I've experienced that. Yes.
Yeah, me too. So again, that's one of the things we try and do. Everything we do is UL listed. We're trying very, very, very specifically to manage safety and security for the consumer. All of our vehicles come with a VIN, so we have full traceability on every single manufacturing step in the process, every supplier, every operator that touches the vehicle. Same way I used to help build cars and trucks. We think about that the same way, right? Why isn't the consumer due that level of quality and assurity, right? Every single thing in our life is certainty and value, I want to make sure we are certain what that customer's experience is going to be, and I want to make sure the customer gets value for what they purchase.
What age group is your buyer, typically?
It's very interesting because the buyers range. Like the market is it's an omnibus market. We've got 16 to 25-year-olds. 60% of them are getting their driver's license today. You've got over 55 people who are coming back, who are what I call the golden gray, who are reaching retirement age but want to have that little activity, so they want to get on these things. Everybody has seen these now online. 1.8 million e-bikes sold last year in America. Toyota only sold 1.9 million cars in America. So just think about how big and how quickly this is becoming addressed.
Well, last week I had an opportunity to go visit my daughter, actually the week before last, up in Denver, and went to Boulder, the home of University of Colorado, and those things are everywhere. They're everywhere there, and of course the campus isn't too far from the downtown area, so it's an easy trot right down there.
Yep.
And but I found them actually. It kind of surprised me, the number of them that are there, and I would imagine that Austin, University of Texas being in Austin, and I would imagine that Austin probably has a pretty good hold on the e-bike market.
So what do you think the number one e-bike market in America is today? Just curious.
Just off the top of my head, I would say college campuses.
So Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Minneapolis.
So again,
why?
The infrastructure is very friendly. Tons of paths and bike lanes everywhere. There's an urban environment next to a lot of trees and greenery and kind of green belt area, and that consumer rides all the time. It is very fascinating to me that one of the coldest places in the United States, in the 49 states other than Alaska, is one of the most popular places for e-bikes. But it's absolutely true. College campuses are huge. You asked a really good question earlier. So college kids and kids themselves are so used to now scooters and bikes and Lyft and Uber. They're not getting their driver's license. So again, college kids are one of our focuses moving forward. There's 119 million rides in a car where an individual gets in a car in the U.S. every day, 119 million times, and rides. That's alone, right? There's 647 million total, but where an individual gets in a car, drives alone. 29 million of those are less than 1 mile. And 50% of them are less than 7 miles. So if you just think about we as a consumer base and what's happening, our experiences on what we're willing to do every day, right, where we want to live, where we want to work, and where we want to commute, that's changing, right? The COVID, the amount of traffic congestion, all those things are training us that we want a different lifestyle. And that's, in my opinion, it's coming right to us around these e-mobility options. So we said, why not rethink the vehicle itself, and why not make it more car-esque for what consumers really appreciate and like? And that was the genesis of eBliss.
Do you see yourself actually offering somewhere in the future a car competitor with 4 wheels instead of 2?
So, I don't know that I would call it a car competitor. I would call it a ride competitor.
Okay,
right?
sure.
So in the 70s and the 80s, Honda had a strategy of own the garage, right? So remember Honda, right? They had cars, motorcycles, lawn mowers, right?
Yep.
It was share of garage. I want to talk about share of ride, right? So, absolutely, 4-wheel vehicles are here and coming. They're going to start with delivery, right? So it's going to be small cargo and delivery, 4-wheel bikes that are going to be in urban environments. That's going to be the leader in those things, I believe. And then we'll see. I think one of the fascinating things that's going on right now is when I was a kid growing up in Ford Motor Company, right? 1985, I joined Ford. And, if you would have told me, one, that car dealerships would have, a Michelin 2-star restaurants in them, I would have laughed at you. Now they're quite prevalent. If you would have also told me that somebody could start a car company and make it the most valuable corporation in the world by themselves, I would have said no way. So the technical capability of the system is now rising. So there's lots of opportunities to make new kinds of unique vehicles that will satisfy consumers' requirements. And that's one of the things that we're really focused on.
Well, one of the things that comes to mind clearly is the fact that there was a study done recently by a research company that said of all of the people that buy EVs, 40% of those folks said, no, the next cars, we're going to go back to gasoline. Mainly because, I think, of the infrastructure not being in place for that. And I experienced that, and obviously you raised your hand when I brought that up. I spent recently with an EV press vehicle, I spent 3.5 hours over 3 days trying to find a working fast charger on my path of 30 miles between where I work and home, and it took me 3.5 hours to find it, and then I had to go in the opposite direction of home and hunt this thing down in another city that's near Houston to find one, a fast charger.
And then you had to charge it.
They're killing us.
Yeah,
they're killing us.
Yeah, well, I own an EF-150, and I worked for Ford Motor Company for 16 years, and again, my advertisement is I still believe they build the best trucks in the world, and I love my truck. I do not love the electric thought process, and I do not love the panic that happens when it's 97 degrees outside and you're watching your charge drop precipitously as you're driving down the road.
Yep.
And you pull into a charging station, and either people are just parked there, the chargers don't work, they're the slow chargers, all of those things. But I just want to remind everybody, right? You go back to 1900. What did the world look like in 1906, right? The world was transitioning from horse and buggy to horseless carriages. There was no infrastructure. There was no gas stations. There was none of that stuff, right? But consumer demand drove two things. They drove policy and infrastructure. Same things happening on e-mobility products, right? Consumers do want, right, those same studies, and I do read them all the time, consumers do want electrified lifestyle, right? They do want that. They don't want the inconvenience that you and I have experienced and is emboldened in our mind. I mean, imagine we're sitting on this radio, TV program, we're having this conversation, and this is what we want to talk about, right? This journey is going to happen, but it's not going to be up and to the right with a straight line. You aren't going to mandate this from government, right?
Right.
Consumers are going to pull this at their time, at their pace, and we have to deliver vehicles and systems that satisfy what they want to go.
Well, I have to tell you, I am a bit worried. So obviously, we're a car show, and we all know about what's happening with car manufacturers. They went all in, spending and still spending billions of dollars on battery technology, battery factories, battery cars, and they're just now realizing, wait a minute, we're building way more than we can possibly sell. It worries me. GM has pulled back, as a matter of fact, and said, we're going to start up that gasoline engine factory again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, again, this is the whole thing, right? How do you gauge demand? One of the hardest things to do is to run a car company. I mean, imagine you got to predict 4 years in advance on what consumers are going to want.
Right.
You have to make commitments through the entire ecosystem of billions of dollars. You got to put your career on the line for this. And then if you miss at the beginning by 1%, by the time you get 4 years down the road, you're 40% off, right? So, because the trajectory just isn't there. So, it's amazing to me that these car companies make these giant bets, but they're almost in a position that they have to. When the government throws a mandate out there and says, go do this, and by the way, this is a no-win situation for the CEO of General Motors and Ford, all these guys. It's a no-win. They get told they have to do this. Consumers don't want it. They go to the shareholders and get a bunch of money, right? And then the consumers say, no, too fast, right? Not for me. It's a very difficult thing to bet on.
Sure it is. I mean, we've talked about this for quite some time, that it really is not a consumer-driven market, just like you said. You've got these guys trying to figure out what the consumer market is. Now you've got somebody coming in and telling them, ignore the consumer market, do what I'm telling you to do?
So again, it's always this great vision, right? We're going to be green, clean, all these things. It's a great vision. I buy it. The journey to get there isn't a straight line, and it isn't going to be that a government is going to mandate this. If consumers don't buy it, it's going to be a wonderful coat hanger sitting on the side of the road, right? That's all it's going to be. So as I look at this thing, this is the reason why I think I read that same study you're talking about, and people will go to a hybrid vehicle now is where everybody's wanting to go.
Yep.
And when you look at Toyota and you look at Honda and you look at those guys, they took a different approach than the U.S. automakers have taken and the U.S. government has taken, and they pushed back. You look at Allison Corporation, right? Fantastically run organization, stuck to their knitting, stayed right in the middle of betting on some hybrid technology, but didn't relent, didn't take the pressure from the government to go full on electric and make unintelligent investment decisions. And now it's one of the top performing stocks in the marketplace because people understand that they made the right bets.
You're not going to get an argument out of me on that.
No.
But I will offer this. I'm thinking, we're all kind of looking for a presidential candidate, and maybe you kind of missed the boat here recently and start running for the presidency.
Oh yeah. Who wants that job? Right?
Exactly.
Well, amen.
I mean, I'm not going to go to Beirut, commonly known as Washington D.C., and get shot at from every possible direction. Right?
Plus,
winning.
You'd have to take a pay cut too.
Yeah, exactly. So, Bill, what can we expect from your company? We're going to expect in pretty much every high-end dealership in the United States? We're launching. We've got a dealer group in Western Michigan. It's called the Denoyer Group. They've been in business for 85 years, 6 stores. They've just announced, and this coming Friday, we're doing their kickoff with their 6 dealerships and doing a ride and drive right outside of Kalamazoo, Michigan, going all the way over to Lake Michigan area and all the way up to Traverse City. So that's our first launch. Our second launch is Los Angeles and Hawaii. Somebody has to do it, so I'm going to volunteer to do Hawaii myself personally. Yeah.
So those are kind of the next 2. We've got wonderful partners burgeoning on the East Coast as well. So we had over 500 car dealers raise their hand and say they're interested in this.
Wow.
But I got to tell you, we're trying to pick the right partners right now.
Sure.
Who are going to think about this as a system. So again, the Denoyer guys, and that family is just amazing, right? 85 years in the automotive industry, right in the cradle of Ford Motor Company and GM and all that stuff. They're cross promoting all of their e-bike sales into their vehicle sales. So buy an e-bike, get 2 years of maintenance on your vehicle for free. I mean, they're doing all kinds of things because this is really around what does the consumer want in their life. The e-bike is going to be a part of that garage. I call it the hybrid garage. So it's an ICE vehicle, possibly an electric vehicle, and then possibly some short run vehicles like, electric golf carts, LSVs, or e-bikes. That's what I see as the future of the garage going forward.
Bill, where can we find the website for the Always Bike brand?
So there's 2 places. It all comes back to eBliss. So www.ebliss.global. So that's our center location.
Yep.
Our Always Bike brand is again alwaysbikes.com. So just please feel free to visit. And gentlemen, I would love to when we roll one of these out in Texas. I would love to have you guys come out to the dealership and do a live broadcast.
Absolutely.
And have some fun. Do some ride and drives with some consumers. I can tell you, when you talk about the most fun I have in my job, it's putting somebody on one of those vehicles and watching the smile on their face as they come back.
We just got back from the Lone Star Street Rod Association annual street run. Yeah, 49 years. Next year will be the 50th year, and it's a bunch of guys that really like their wheels and they like diddling with cars, and they fit right on our mold. That would be one of those places that we would love to have an e-bike and let all those guys ride it. They would be in love with that.
Hey, listen, you guys take this on as a challenge. Next year for the 50th, let's do an e-bike ride and drive at the event.
So you got it. Granbury, Texas. Mark that down on your calendar.
I'm gonna absolutely get Adam to follow up, and we would love to join you guys.
Bill, it's great to talk to you. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Best of luck to you, and keep us posted on the success of your company.
Gentlemen, thank you very much. Love the show.
Thank you, Bill. We appreciate you. Hey, the In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show is available 24/7 through the iHeartRadio app. Just look for In-Wheel Time Car Talk. We also video stream our 3-hour weekly show on Facebook, YouTube, and InWheelTime.com. And podcasts are available from your favorite podcast provider. The In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show continues right after this quick break. Well, I said that. How about this break?
Just kidding.
Pro-Am Auto Accessories has been serving Houston's auto enthusiasts since 1984, providing world-class products for sports cars, European sedans, and American muscle. Pro-Am is known as the place to go to find exclusive and hard-to-find parts and accessories. Pro-Am is one of the very first distributors in the USA for brands such as Recaro, Redline, Momo, Corbo, and Simpson. Located in the heart of Houston's premier retail and service corridor, the Galleria area, Pro-Am's walk-in storefront includes an 8,000-square-foot warehouse, showroom, and installation bays. Pro-Am not only sells parts and accessories, but also offers installation and service. Pro-Am is now reaching a worldwide audience through Pro-Am.com, taking its local reputation to the rest of the world. At Pro-Am Auto, you'll be dealing with a small group of professionals who truly want to help you with your automotive needs. If you don't see what you're looking for on the website, call and Pro-Am will lend you a hand. Pro-Am Auto, 6125 Richmond at Green Ridge in Houston's Galleria area. Call them at 713-781-7755. Want to feel good about something special you did for someone special? In-Wheel Time and the original Lupi Tortilla group of Tex-Mex restaurants have joined together to help a very worthy cause, God's Garage, a Christian-based 501c3 charity. We know there are lots of places and organizations out there where you can donate a car, truck, or SUV, but we're asking you, our car enthusiast family, to consider donating to God's Garage. Visit godsgarage.org and learn about its mission, the women that have been helped, how each one is screened, and about their Restore You program. A car donation is an easy way to make a difference in the lives of others. God's Garage needs good operating vehicles, but will take all types in working and non-working condition. Make your heart and soul feel good by donating your gently used vehicle and help support single mothers, widows, and wives of deployed military at godsgarage.org. Welcome back to the In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show on this Saturday morning. We appreciate you joining us today. Time now for this hour's tap dance calendar, and Mr. Mars has that.
Go.
Oh, just kidding.
Just kidding. All right, coming up every Friday evening this month, I found out that there's a show and shine summer nights down at the GarageUltimate.com. You can find more information down in Friendswood, Texas. So they've compensated for the heat. So go check it out on a Friday evening. If you're looking for something to do, there's a nice show and shine going on down there. June the 23rd, the Northside Mustang Car Club. This is a rain date from earlier in March, but this is, if you're interested in learning how to make repairs on your cars, we're a car show. We like to play with cars, but maybe you've got some kids, grandkids, a spouse that would like to understand more about what to do on the car, understand oil changes, rotating tires. This is a deal that they've got set up to help people. A clinic. Yeah. That's a good way to put it. 10 to 4 p.m. And if you register by calling 573-931-3264, they'll put you on the list and they'll have some lunch for you while you're there.
867-5309.
Yeah. June 30th, Corvette Day Rally. Now, this is benefiting the National Corvette Museum. June the 30th, 4650 FM 2351 in Friendswood, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., $20 in advance, $25 after. Go to myvet.com to register. The benefiting the National Corvette Museum. The 28th of September, Woody's 6th Annual Waterfront Rod and Custom Show down in San Leon. We're going to be there again this year. Go to Woody's one more. Back to the Past Car Show, October the 19th, Annual Open Classic Truck.
Brain hiccup there?
No, I just decided, Jeff was giving me messages by giving me the finger, and I was skipping some.
We're all giving you the finger every Saturday
it's
morning.
It's an open car show benefiting the Spring Branch Senior High School Foundation.
It's a guy in Idaho giving you the
Go to springbranchbears.com car show for more information. And we're going to be there live on that one.
Okay.
You know, I don't want to give the next car review any injustice, so I'm going to hold on to this,
Okay.
and not do it right now.
Oh, yeah.
Because we're running a little bit behind.
Yeah,
Okay.
see that.
And,
That's okay.
Yeah,
We're
because
good.
I had the opportunity to drive the new Lexus RX 450H Plus, and I got to drive that up Pikes Peak.
Oh, yeah.
And it's a hybrid that Lexus has, and it is very interesting, the review that I'm going to give it, and I want to give it my full attention. So
Yeah,
I'm
because
gonna wait.
I'd like to be. I'm interested in the Plus. I had to do a little looking to find some pictures and stuff. So I'm really interested to hear what you got to say about
Okay.
that.
Yeah, it's a very nice vehicle, to say the least. Not only because they let me have it in Colorado while I was there to drive it for a week, but I was so impressed. And you know, I've not been a big fan of the front end grille of the Lexus since they came out with that, what they call the hourglass thing.
Yeah.
That it just
Grows on you, though.
they've toned it down, and it really does look good. And boy, this vehicle is something else. So,
Well, they've taken the hint from the other Toyota models, even though this is a Lexus, but the other Toyota models have that same fascia.
Yes.
So they've kind of come back from it, like you said, they've toned it down.
they've done a good job. So I'm going to do that car review coming up here in just a couple of minutes. I did want to remind you that you can get in touch with us.
What?
Do I dare?
The guy in Idaho is.
Yeah. do I dare even give out this address? If you'd like to get in touch with us,
With us. Them.
them. Now you're being correct.
Yeah,
No.
Is that your pronouns?
Shoot us an email. The address here is info@inwheeltime.com. We will be back right after this quick break. We invite you to stay with us.
Everyone at the Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise In at the Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy, thank you for participating in the best cruise in around and look forward to seeing you again. You'll hear about the next cruise in date right here on In Wheel Time. Next time you're in the West Houston Energy Corridor area, be sure and stop in at the original Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex at I-10 and Highway 6 or the Katy location on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard. When passing through Beaumont or College Station, stop in and have Lupi's award-winning beef fajitas and frozen margaritas. There's always a celebration at Lupi Tortilla. Lupi Tortilla founder Stan Holt and his wife Sheila are winning racers on the NHRA drag racing circuit and have a collection of hot rods and classics that everyone appreciates. Look for them at the next Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise In. The date will be announced soon and will once again be held at the Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex on 99 and Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10 and Katy. We'll give you all the details right here on the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show and online. Donations benefit God's Garage. We'll see you then. You own a car you love. Well, why not let Gulf Coast Auto Shield protect it? Houstonian John Gray invites you to his state-of-the-art facility to introduce you to his specialist team of auto enthusiasts. We promise you'll be impressed. Whether you're looking to massage your original paint to a like-new appearance, apply a ceramic coating, install a paint protection film, nano-ceramic window tint, or new windshield protection called ExoShield, Gulf Coast Auto Shield is where Houston's car people go. Curbed your wheels? Instead of buying new, why not have them repaired? How about a professionally installed radar detector? Gulf Coast Auto Shield does that too. Get a peek inside the shop and look at the services offered by getting online and heading to gcautoshield.com. Better yet, stop by their facility at 11275 South Sam Houston Tollway, just south of the Southwest Freeway, and get a personal tour. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is your place to go for all things exterior. Call them today, 832-930-5655 or gcautoshield.com.
Believe it or not, this is the world's favorite place to go for podcasting and live streaming. It's the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Ahead, Chris Hatto and the new Cafe Standards. I hope that's how you pronounce his name. We'll have This Week in Auto History. Get you caught up on the stories making headlines. And I promise that this half hour, I'm going to have the review of the 2024 Lexus RX 450h Plus.
Hybrid
Howdy.
Plus.
Yeah, howdy, along with Mike out of this world, Mars. You, sir, You're trouble today. I can see that look on your face.
He's all
We
rested
always
up.
need more Jeff Zekin. I'm Don Armstrong. Glad you could join us today. Let me know when Chris gets with us. But you know what I think we're going to do, Jeffrey, if it's okay with you, let's do the car review while we wait.
that would be a good
Yeah.
idea because
All right,
He's
let
not-
me get it
yeah,
loaded
he's not
up.
here yet. Yeah, okay.
Let
All
me get loaded.
Okay. He's going to get loaded.
Jeff's gonna
Talk
get
amongst
loaded.
It won't
yourselves.
be the
while I
first
get
time, I
loaded.
can tell you that. You know?
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
All
the
right.
Toyota Tacoma, right?
That's not it. But thank you for playing. We had a promo that we did this morning to promote the fact that we were getting ready to do the show.
Hence the word promo.
And Mr. Mars pulled a quick one on me. He pulled a bob on me, and put down a car that I haven't actually had the opportunity to review yet. So I said that, but that's not today's car review.
Oh, well, wasn't it the pro? Didn't we weeks ago have the wrong one in there? Something of that nature.
I don't remember.
I don't know.
Okay,
No.
never mind.
But he's playing games. So at any rate, it doesn't make any difference. I think what he did was he made a mistake on the rundown that he sends me, and then he went, I'm just going to leave it in there, and I'll just put the real one below it, which he did.
And who read the teleprompter?
I read it, just like Bob did. Time now for this hour's car review. 2024 Lexus RX 450h Plus. Fifth generation of the RX line. This is considered a luxury, all-wheel drive, two-row, full-size crossover vehicle, also known as a PHEV, partial hybrid electric vehicle. Seats, including the driver, 5 butts can go in there. All new for 2024. Exterior features include, although toned down a little bit, the front end can still be polarizing. It is that what they call the spindle grille look, but it's different. They fixed it up, and I actually kind of like it. Did I say that?
Growing on you.
Nice body side sculpting, floating roof paint minimizes the large C-pillar on this car. Rear hatch has the bustle-style architecture back there. I had to look at that twice. I'm going, is that what? Am I seeing that correctly? The subtlety of their styling is really cool once you start to look at it and look at it up close. Stylish upscale wheels. Overall look gets an A in design. Interior highlights include a classy, modern, upscale interior, huge infotainment screen. Listen, if your finger can't hit that going down a bumpy road, nothing can. Comfortable seating throughout. No more touchpad on the center console. Thank you. Cargo room, tons of space without the third row in it. This is only a two-row luxury SUV, and I mean luxury all the way. What I liked about it, steering wheel controls, pretty straightforward. So you don't have to sit there and try to figure that out. And let me tell you, there are a lot of new cars out there that want to put too much on the steering wheel. There's no need to do that. Now, here's what the interesting part about this. This vehicle has a 2.5-liter four-cylinder plug-in hybrid electric motor combination with a total of 304 horsepower. That's pretty good. CVT transmission, tow rating 3,500 if you're going to do that, but I wouldn't imagine. But it can. Gas electric combination, miles per gallon electric, 83 miles per gallon electric. Gas only, 35 miles per gallon. The miles per gallon rated combination, 36 mpg. I got 37.5 miles per gallon over 420.6 miles.
And that's in thin air.
Very thin air, especially when you get to 14,000 feet at the top of Pikes Peak, which I did on this particular vehicle, and it worked like a charm. What I liked about it, plenty of smooth power, believe it or not. I'll take one. Ride and handling, smooth ride and handling, top-notch all the way. The base trim price for the 350h starts at $49,000. I say this because my vehicle was a pre-production model and I didn't have all of the information on it. Now, the Price as tested for the 450H Plus is $76,305. That's the price as tested. The base model price is $68,730. Yes, it's expensive, but it's not as expensive as the BMW X5 plug-in for $72,500. Another plug-in is the Lincoln Corsair. $53,925 is the base on that one. And just to throw in a gasoline version, Acura RDX is a competitor, I guess, $54,150. There are going to be more and more plug-in hybrids, and I would encourage you to do your homework if that's what you're in the market for, but I would definitely recommend checking out the Lexus RX 450H Plus. That's my review for this week.
The Corsair Lincoln, they're not making those anymore, are they? Or are they getting rid of the production? One of the Lincolns, it's either the Navigator or the Corsair.
All I can tell you is that that's the only one of the few plug-in hybrid SUVs available today. They're all coming up to the plate now and going, oh, well, we're not going to go all electric. No, we're not going to do it all. We're not going to do that. We're going to go with the hybrid thing. And I think that the hybrids are selling not as much, but I think that they're getting there with the full electrics because you don't have to worry about infrastructure and running out of juice, electric juice, 200 miles away from home and there's nothing around.
Get an e-Bliss bike, 300 miles.
There you go. Chris Haddo, Consumer Reports, and he is on the line with us right now. Chris, good morning to you, sir.
Hey, good morning.
Hey, it's good. It's good to hear from you, and thank you very much for joining us. And Chris is here to talk about what's kind of appropriate: CAFE ratings, corporate average fuel economy ratings, and there is somewhat of, or has been, somewhat of a disconnect between EPA and CAFE. And maybe you could explain that in a better way, because I know that there's a difference, but you go ahead and take the cake here.
Yeah. So there's really two rules right now that, in many ways, do similar things in terms of encouraging lower emission, more efficient vehicles. There's EPA, and then the Department of Transportation sets CAFE rules. Really, the way the administration has set these two rules this year for 2027 and beyond, really the EPA rule is the one that's going to really matter. It's going to be the binding rule, and it's going to be the one that's really going to drive change in the automotive market. They really set the new CAFE rule at a much lower level of stringency, so that it probably, so that automakers don't have to worry as much about trying to finagle all of the unique aspects of the two programs to meet them both.
Yeah, because
so really, go ahead.
I was just going to say, because I remember when the CAFE rating started and everybody's going, oh, that's not that big deal. Well, then all of a sudden, all these cars come out and they're not getting too great a gas mileage, and now they got to take credits from the cars that they do build that get great gas mileage and combine them with the ones that don't get gas mileage, and then they also throw in there the fuel economy penalty if it doesn't get this many miles per gallon. It turned into a big mess is what it turned into.
Yeah, I mean, but it worked. It drove
did.
really significant fuel economy improvements. We looked at kind of the history of that CAFE program, and really just in the past 20 years, it's delivered about $7,000 in fuel savings to new vehicles. So that's a pretty significant chunk of change back in consumers' pockets because of kind of the incremental improvements automakers have made over the years.
Oh, absolutely, and I couldn't agree with you more. I remember the day very well when 12 miles to the gallon was acceptable. Today, 12 miles to the gallon. And now you can go out and
buy a full-size pickup truck that gets 24, 25 miles to a gallon.
Yeah.
Who would have thought that was even possible?
Right, and it did push the industry to get better gas mileage out of the power sources that they put in these vehicles, and also up the power. Four-cylinder engines used to be really, might as well just go ahead and have a lawnmower motor in there. But they upped the horsepower on them, and they still got good gas mileage. And, hey, I've turned into a big fan of four-bangers. And now I just had, matter of fact, I'm sure you've driven one with a three-cylinder engine, turbocharged, gets great gas mileage out of 3 cylinders.
Yeah, it's amazing what the industry can do when really kind of pushed by these regulations. You know, it always looks really daunting when the regulations go into place, but when the engineers are pushed and given a goal, they always seem to deliver.
Yeah, it's a shame
and
that
ends up being great for consumers.
It's a shame that they had to be pushed, but I guess that kind of was the impetus in getting better gas mileage, because they really had no reason to do it. Everybody was paying, 50 cents a gallon for gasoline and accepting 12 miles to the gallon. So there has been that. Okay, so what can we expect? I mean, is there anything really going to change now that the EPA ratings have kind of taken over?
Yeah, I mean, the EPA standards are very, very strong. They're really going to push the industry. We're going to see a lot more EVs. We're going to see a lot more hybrids. We're going to see a lot more plug-in hybrids on the market. People are going to have a lot more choice. It's just that the CAFE regulations aren't going to add to that in any significant way.
Do you see the CAFE ratings going away eventually?
That's an open question. Right now, they're still required by law. There's a law on the books that requires the Department of Transportation to set those CAFE standards. So, I think they will still continue to exist as long as that law is on the books. But they're probably going to become increasingly less relevant. And one of the reasons that is the law that requires the CAFE standards also says that the Department of Transportation can't consider alternative fueled vehicles, including electric vehicles, in setting the stringency of those standards. So automakers can build EVs, they get credit for EVs. They count right now at 400 miles per gallon, 300 miles per gallon. But they can't consider that those vehicles exist when setting the stringency. So it's just hard for them to set a stringency that actually drives the market when EVs exist.
Sure. So in other words, what you're saying basically is the fact that the CAFE ratings will still apply, obviously, to the mainly gasoline engines. And I guess that would be kind of a good thing, because we don't want to go backwards in that. We've made so many big gains in miles per gallon in the overall CAFE ratings, where it holds big manufacturers their feet to the fire, so to speak, and say, hey, look, you guys have got to produce vehicles that overall get better gas mileage. And I can relate to that, but I think that as time goes on, I don't think that that'll be an issue, because I think that they're all kind of competing against each other and trying to get the most miles per gallon out of everything that they make. Don't you?
Yeah. I mean, I think we'll continue to see some improvements there, but really a lot of the compliance is now going to be driven by building more electric vehicles, building more plug-in hybrids, like you were just talking about, and again, we're going to see more regular hybrids too, because those are good solutions for some parts of the market.
Well, I think that you heard part of my review on that Lexus 450h Plus that we took up to Pikes Peak and got great gas mileage out of the thing. And I never plugged the thing in. Matter of fact, I don't even think that there was a plug available for me to plug it in. They just let me go with the gasoline engine, and it seemed to take care of itself quite well. Little 4-cylinder engine that acted like a big boy V6.
I think it could.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. When those 4 cylinders can lean on the extra electric motors, they can give some real boost, real power.
Yeah, exactly. And a luxury vehicle running around town, and if 35, 40 miles on a quick charge on that particular vehicle, for a lot of people that works.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then you don't have the range anxiety when you want to drive up Pikes Peak, or you want to
take a vacation.
Go on vacation, and they get really good gas. Many of them get really good gas mileage. Some of the manufacturers might be taking advantage of some of the incentives and building plug-in hybrids that aren't quite that efficient when they're on gas. But some of the really good ones are really good.
So, what is the latest take that you have on any of the CAFE ratings that came out?
So again, these rules are going to be kind of pretty low key, incremental relative to what the EPA rules are really pushing. Those EPA rules are going to see really some significant growth in electrification, whether it's electric vehicles, plug-in hybrids, or battery or regular hybrids. We project with those EPA standards, we could be up to 50% pure plug-in electric vehicles by 2032, which that's a pretty big jump from where we're at today.
Sure, and I can see that as long as the infrastructure is there.
As long as the infrastructure is there, fingers crossed.
Yeah.
I think that a lot of those efforts are kind of ramping up this year, and hopefully we'll see start to see both between the federal program and IONA, which is a new network being developed by about 7 automakers, planning to put in about 30,000 stations around the country as well over the next handful of years.
Well,
and then all of the vehicles getting the Tesla chargers as well.
Well, I don't know about you guys up there, but we keep getting threatened with brownouts here. Of course, Texas is a little bit different. We're not connected to the rest of the grid in the United States. I don't know, somebody's ego got hurt or something. I'm not exactly sure how this all came about, but we're not connected to what you're connected to, and so we have to suffer through, threats of brownouts. And all I can think of is all these electric cars now going to be plugged into this thing that is teetering on the edge of going out anyway. I can see the whole thing shutting down in the near future. So that's something that we have to work on here in Texas. And that may be a good story for you guys.
Yeah, I know Texas has got a lot of crypto miners and new AI data centers coming in, and they're hogging up all the electricity, really putting some strain on the grid. Hopefully, I think with EVs, I think there's, the rate of deployment is such that most utilities should have the ability to plan for that. We did some analysis showing that EVs might put about 1% per year, what might require about 1% per year growth in electricity demand, which is not insignificant, but not outside of the historical norm. But when you build that on top of, data centers going in everywhere, and some of these other loads, adds some complexity.
Well, Chris, it's always great to talk to you guys. Give our best wishes to all of our friends up there at Consumer Reports, if you would. We thank you very much for joining us today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
You bet. Chris
Thanks,
Hutto
Chris.
with Consumer Reports on the new CAFE ratings. The In Wheel Time Car Talk Show is available 24/7 through the iHeartRadio app. Just look for In Wheel Time Car Talk. We also video stream on Facebook, YouTube, and on InWheelTime.com. Podcasts available from your favorite podcast provider. The In Wheel Time Car Talk Show continues right after this quick break.
Pro-Am Auto Accessories has been serving Houston's auto enthusiasts since 1984, providing world-class products for sports cars, European sedans, and American muscle. Pro-Am is known as the place to go to find exclusive and hard-to-find parts and accessories. Pro-Am is one of the very first distributors in the USA for brands such as Recaro, Redline, Momo, Corbo, and Simpson. Located in the heart of Houston's premier retail and service corridor, the Galleria area, Pro-Am's walk-in storefront includes an 8,000 square foot warehouse, showroom, and installation bays. Pro-Am not only sells parts and accessories, but also offers installation and service. Pro-Am is now reaching a worldwide audience through Pro-Am.com, taking its local reputation to the rest of the world. At Pro-Am Auto, you'll be dealing with a small group of professionals who truly want to help you with your automotive needs. If you don't see what you're looking for on the website, call and Pro-Am will lend you a hand. Pro-Am Auto, 6125 Richmond at Green Ridge and Houston's Galleria area. Call them at 713-781-7755. Want to feel good about something special you did for someone special? In Wheel Time and the original Lupi Tortilla group of Tex-Mex restaurants have joined together to help a very worthy cause, God's Garage, a Christian-based 501c3 charity. We know there are lots of places and organizations out there where you can donate a car, truck, or SUV, but we're asking you, our car enthusiast family, to consider donating to God's Garage. Visit godsgarage.org and learn about its mission, the women that have been helped, how each one is screened, and about their Restore You program. A car donation is an easy way to make a difference in the lives of others. God's Garage needs good operating vehicles, but will take all types in working and non-working condition. Make your heart and soul feel good by donating your gently used vehicle and help support single mothers, widows, and wives of deployed military at godsgarage.org.
Hey, you're on the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Thanks for riding with us today. There was one thing. Oh, I did want to mention the fact that we sure appreciate the hospitality, the hospitality, if you will, of all the fine folks up there at the Lone Star Street
it was a blast.
Association.
Yeah.
And the street state run. I'll get it out in a minute. The state run, the 49th annual, and I think hopefully we'll be back for the 50th anniversary.
It's gonna be fun.
Up there at Hewlett Park
wait.
in Granbury, Texas. And you know, if you've not been to Granbury, what a great destination. That'd be one of those things that, honey, you know, we really can't afford to go too far out of the state. Let's drive somewhere. We always went to San Antonio
Yes.
when I was raising the kids. And San Antonio was a great place, got lots to do and lots of things, and didn't have to spend a ton of money for summer vacation. But I was thinking, Granbury, that beautiful lake that they've got there, the great town square, all of the fun things.
Clean.
Yeah.
Oh, my
There was
goodness.
one thing you definitely noticed. It's clean.
Yeah, very nice little place. And Highway 6 will get you up there.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
That was a good ride.
That was a good ride.
Highway
Yeah,
6
and
is
it's
a good
really
ride.
not much further than San Antonio from here, if you really look at it. At least from where I am, I can go to either one of them in about the
We're
same
not
amount of
where
time.
you are, Mars.
Well, I know. I was just trying to relate that.
Time-wise, distance.
But I will also say that, we hopefully next year, if we get to go, I'm hoping to be able to stay the whole weekend. We keep having
That
to
would be
leave.
fun, too.
Because Saturday afternoon, before we left town, we stopped to eat real quick. You could rent boats, pontoon boats, and all kinds of things.
talked
like that.
As
about
long
that,
as
yeah.
I don't have to pedal them, I'm okay.
No, there was kayaks, but I mean, there was really pontoon boats.
I ain't doing no kayak.
I could see the in-wheel time cruise boat.
The party boat.
Pork chop.
Absolutely.
Tie a pork chop around your neck and go fishing. There you go.
All right,
in the
time
water.
now for this week's auto history. Here's Mr. Mars.
This week, June the 8th, 1948.
Wait a minute. This is June 15th up there.
This week.
Yeah, but this
I
week
see.
leading up to
I
here.
got okay.
Yeah. June the 8th, 1948. The first Porsche debuts as a Porsche 956-1 had a tubular steel chassis, aluminum body, 40 horsepower.
Wow.
And they continued to build this car in various iterations until the legendary Porsche 911 hit the market in 1963. June the 10th, 1947, the original Saab debuts.
Oh God.
And they continued to actually make that model up until 1949.
I'd drive it.
You would, of
I
course,
would.
you would.
I
You know
would
what that
drive
looks
that.
like? It looks like from one of those cartoons from the Cars.
Yes.
movie.
Yeah. Cars movie, yeah. June the
Saab.
11th, 1986,
Tug it out.
a 1961 Ferrari GT 250 California was starred in the movie
Ferris
Ferris Bueller's Day Off. They actually
Bueller.
they had one real car for that
Bueller.
movie, 3 replicas. And, of course, they didn't tear up the one car.
No.
One replica is in Cancun. The other 2 replicas, nobody knows what happened to them after the movie was made.
Wow.
June the 12th, 1971, the last Lincoln Mark III was rolled off of the assembly line.
That's cool.
That's a beautiful car.
That is.
It really
gorgeous.
is. I've always thought that was a neat car. And then
Lose
June
your
the
place?
13th. Yeah, I did. I couldn't get the page turned. June the 13th, 1895, the first automotive race was ran.
Okay.
Now, this was only a handful of cars, and they decided to do this to help promote business and people buying cars and everything. Top speed, 12.42 mile per hour. They raced from Paris to Bordeaux, France in the race.
All right.
730 miles. And Jeff, for you.
Yeah.
This race inspired the founding of the Automobile Club de France and inspired the Paris-Bordeaux race that became very famous and actually led to the foundation of the Formula One racing. I knew you'd love to hear that.
Oh, yeah. It's in my memory bank.
And that's it for this week in auto history.
Thank you, sir, I guess. Here's some recalls to tell you about. Land Rover, Range Rover, and Range Rover Sport for 24. Transmission may shift into neutral while driving.
Oh, boy.
I think it just stay there, as far as I'm concerned. Debris in the engine may cause a stall in the Lexus LX and the Toyota Tundra 22 to 23 model years.
What kind of debris?
I don't know. Some kind of,
Cigarette
metal debris.
Cigarette butt or
cigarette butts in there.
chip bag or something?
That's what
Twinkie,
it is.
Twinkie cover?
Inoperative rear view camera display, the Honda Fit, Honda HR-V 2018 to 2022 models. Turn the page.
Oh, see?
Unexpected loss of drive power in the Nissan Ariya for 2023.
Aria.
Aria? What did I say?
Area.
Whatever. AREA. That's area. It's not the way it's spelled, but I made it that way.
There you go.
Ford Mustang for 2024, improperly secured clutch pressure line. So you press on the clutch, and the line underneath the car drops down to the ground, scrapes the ground. I don't know what it is, but that's
That was all
my vision. That's what I could see.
Computerized.
Inadequate headliner impact protection on the Kia EV9 for 2024.
You got protection to keep your head from hitting the headliner?
I guess so.
Heads up.
Fire from overheated power seat motor in the Kia Telluride 2020 to 2024. That's being recalled. Loss of drive power or park function. The Ram 1500, 2500, 3500 for the 2023 model year. Did you see where Jim Morrison got fired?
Well, they said he left.
Oh, he retired. Everybody retires. No, they don't. Who retires?
No, but I was
Unless
hoping,
you're 90, you
I
don't
liked
retire.
him, and I was hoping that he did that. He decided he had enough of that
Okay,
stuff.
well, let's go with that then,
Yeah.
if that makes you feel
it
better.
makes me feel better.
All right, fine. Dodge Durango, Ram 2500, Ram 3500, 2022 model years, disabled electronic stability control. Stellantis recalling 211,000 vehicles for a software malfunction in the anti-lock braking system that could disable the electronic stability control system. Covers certain 2022 Dodge Durangos, Ram 2500 and 3500 vehicles. Stellantis, by the way, has had 25 recalls this year, affecting around 1.2 million vehicles. Do you think that there's a problem going on there? I do.
He retired.
Yeah,
He retired, yeah. And
the quality
Volvo,
control guy.
Volvo recalling the electric EX30 because of a software issue. The problem affects almost all of the 72,000 EX30s. Might have an error in the center screen causing the speedometer to go into test mode when the car starts. Oops. Never mind. Fisker. Do they even sell those things? They're not out of business yet. 18,000 Ocean crossovers in North America and Europe due to faulty software and non-compliance with safety standards. And let's not forget about the 24 and 25 Corvettes being recalled or a stop sale for the 25 model because of a problem with the seat belt latch.
See, doesn't look like a Corvette, so that's understandable.
Well, just don't wear it.
All right, haters. We'd love to hear from you. Shoot us an email. The address, info@inwheeltime.com. Time now for a quick break. And we're streaming and podcasting around the planet.
Everywhere.
Where are you?
Everywhere.
Look for us on your favorite provider. We'll be right back.
Everyone at the Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise In at the Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy, thank you for participating in the best cruise in around and look forward to seeing you again. You'll hear about the next cruise in date right here on In Wheel Time. Next time you're in the West Houston Energy Corridor area, be sure and stop in at the original Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex at I-10 and Highway 6 or the Katy location on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard. When passing through Beaumont or College Station, stop in and have Loopy's award-winning beef fajitas and frozen margaritas. There's always a celebration at Loopy Tortilla. Loopy Tortilla founder Stan Holt and his wife Sheila are winning racers on the NHRA drag racing circuit and have a collection of hot rods and classics that everyone appreciates. Look for them at the next Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise-In. The date will be announced soon and will once again be held at the Loopy Tortilla Tex-Mex on 99 and Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10 and Katy. We'll give you all the details right here on the In Real Time Car Talk Show and online. Donations benefit God's Garage. We'll see you then. You own a car you love. Well, why not let Gulf Coast Auto Shield protect it? Houstonian John Gray invites you to his state-of-the-art facility to introduce you to his specialist team of auto enthusiasts. We promise you'll be impressed. Whether you're looking to massage your original paint to a like-new appearance, apply a ceramic coating, install a paint protection film, nano-ceramic window tint, or new windshield protection called ExoShield, Gulf Coast Auto Shield is where Houston's car people go. Curbed your wheels? Instead of buying new, why not have them repaired? How about a professionally installed radar detector? Gulf Coast Auto Shield does that too. Get a peek inside the shop and look at the services offered by getting online and heading to gcautoshield.com. Better yet, stop by their facility at 11275 South Sam Houston Tollway, just south of the Southwest Freeway, and get a personal tour. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is your place to go for all things exterior. Call them today, 832-930-5655 or gcautoshield.com.
It's the In Real Time Car Talk Show, podcasting and streaming around the globe. Coming up, Tim Osherwitz and auto lending through AI. What?
Yeah.
A little later in this segment, Jeff has a special report on the 2025 Corvette ZUV,
Which is AI generated.
It's just ahead on the segment of the In Real Time Car Talk Show. Howdy. Along with Mike Out of This World Mars. We always need more Jeff Zekin. David Ainsley, our chief engineer, sleeping in this morning.
Oh, yeah.
I'm Don Armstrong. Glad you could join us. And Tim Osherwitz. Hey, Tim, good morning to you, and thanks for joining us, my friend.
Hey, good morning, all.
Well, how are you?
I'm good. It's about 85 degrees out here in Washington, so we're starting to get summer.
Oh, my God. You know, this is not a good way to start off this interview because it's roasting here.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be, somewhere between 95 and 100, I think, today.
100,000.
100,000, something like that. But good for you. We're going to live through you today. We're going to go for that 85 degrees. So, Tim, Vice President of Legal and Regulatory, is the advisor of Informed IQ. What does Informed IQ do?
Sure. Well, what we do is a big portion of the auto lending industry, when they get a loan from an auto dealer, they use us to help process that loan and evaluate it and understand it and get it resolved as quickly as possible so people can get their loans taken care of.
So, Tim, if I'm going to go buy let's say I'm in the market for a $45,000 car, new one, that I'm going to buy over at the, pick one, Chevrolet dealership. What happens to my loan application?
Well, typically what happens is that the dealer will take your loan and they'll shop it around to different lenders and say, hey, what's the best offer that I can get given your financial circumstances? The lender will make a bid on the loan, they'll get the credit approved, and then they send a 50-page deal jacket, which is all the application and the finance and insurance aspects of the loan to the lender, and then the lender reviews it, and that's where we come in.
Okay, and so and I guess that my rate for this loan depends on my credit score.
Sure.
And are there any other factors that are included in that?
Well, there's not only your credit score; it's your income. They're going to look at your prior history of what you purchased the car, but pretty much right. Just like any other process, they're going to look at what your credit score is and what your qualifications are to get the loan.
So if I get the loan through a dealer, it's been shopped over a bit, and they're going to come back and offer me probably a pretty good rate, I would imagine.
Sure, and obviously, there's different ways to get a loan. You can get it through the dealer. You can also go to your local credit union, and you can get it there, or you can go to your local bank. So there's different ways to get a loan. But definitely, the most common way. About 80% of the time, people go through their dealers.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, well, it's interesting you should say that, because I think that I shopped alone myself years ago, and I found that the dealer actually had the best rate.
Well, there you go.
And so what does the dealer get out of that? Do they get a percentage of the loan?
Well, I think there's something called, a dealer markup. So they have some flexibility, because when they're getting a loan, they don't know precisely what other features a consumer is going to buy with the car. So the consumer may decide to get a vehicle service contract. They may decide to get other types of things with the car. They have some flexibility. So there is a profit incentive for the dealer too.
Now, do those add-ons, shall we say, do they get the same loan treatment as the actual automobile itself?
Well, that's a really great question, because what happens is that it does add to the cost of the car, right? So when you approve the loan, you also have to be able to approve the cost of the add-ons.
Okay. So let's just say, for instance, and I know that you know and we all know that there are some dealers that have their own add-ons. Let's just say here in Houston, Texas, window tint. We don't do a lot of undercoating here because we don't need that. But window tint seems to be...
Or etching, window etching.
Etching, window tint. And let's just throw in maybe a service contract. They advertise a lot on television the fact that you, with your car, you're going to get a whole year of service. Well, oil changes these days are like every 25,000 miles. So is that a real place that I need to worry about? Probably not. That would be my guess.
That's a really great question, because one of the things that's interesting these days and a hot topic is junk fees, right? And when you're getting a loan, are you getting the services that you want? Are you getting offered something of value? And that's something which both the government is really focusing on these days, and also that's a place where AI can help, is stopping junk fees.
How does AI work, and how can it help?
Well, imagine this, like the historical way people would process loans is you'd have a 35 or 40 page loan deal jacket. There'd be people at the lenders, they'd be reviewing the loan document, and sometimes it could take about a couple weeks. Now you can have an AI processes that can review that loan in a matter of like 5 or 10 minutes. And what does it do? Here are a couple of things that it can do. Say, for example, there's a state law that says you can only charge no more than $200 for a doc fee, registering your car.
Yep.
We see with our AI that actually the dealer charged $350. So we can check it if it goes over the state cap. So that's one thing it can do. It also can read the contract and say, you didn't realize that you were, say, double charged for a product. We can check if the product is being double charged. We can, another really cool thing that happens with the AI right now is when a dealer's sending the loan, sometimes they don't send the entire loan. Like say you have an F&I product and it's a 5-page document, they'll only send the first page. So what's a lender to do? They don't know what the other terms are. But with AI, we have a library of documents and we can find out what the other 4 pages are. So there's a lot of advantages with AI to help solving these junk fee problems.
Okay, so F&I, for everybody that doesn't know, means finance and insurance. Mm-hmm. So where does the insurance part come in? Because I already have my car insurance. I got it through Allstate.
Yeah, and dealerships aren't supposed to sell insurance.
So, I don't know. So tell us about the insurance aspect of F&I.
Well, when I was speaking of F&I, I was really speaking of the stuff that you guys were talking about before, like vehicle service contracts.
Yes.
Rust, tire and wheel protection,
which is actually an insurance policy.
Tinted windows.
Okay.
But if all those things have contracts, right? Like or GAP. Like a GAP is basically there's a product that you can buy when you take your car off the dealership. There's a difference already from the price you got for your loan and the price of the car when it goes off, and GAP covers it. But there's rules governing that type of product.
Interesting.
So Tim, so a lot of people and myself, I think AI of generating something, like a story or a document or whatever. But what you're talking about is it actually proofreading documents.
Right. What we do literally is we will get a 45-page PDF and we will read that document with our technology. So it's literally reading the document, and then what we'll do is like we'll compare from like a protection. If the signature on one document is the same as the signature on another document, we'll calculate the income off the document. So AI can do a lot of things.
So
But also, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was going to say that there's also, and I did want to leave you with the promise that there's also some cool benefits that I think that are going to come down the corner, which is they can help consumers when they go through the loan. Right now, when I go visit my parents and they have a tough document, I'm a lawyer, I read it for them. We're going to have a future where when you're applying for a loan, you're going to have the equivalent of your own son reading your documents for you. There'll be a co-pilot. There'll be an AI that'll be reading the document with you and saying, hey, this is good, this is bad. So I think that there's a lot of exciting things ahead for consumers when they go into the auto dealership in the future.
Can AI be manipulated in such a way that says, oh, well, for most people that'd be good, but for you it'd be bad?
Absolutely. Not only can it be manipulated, but it also can create something called hallucinations, right? So I think you may have heard about that.
I'm in one right now, as a matter of fact.
Absolutely.
But go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt.
Right. Well, so there's the big talk these days is about something called generative AI. And
Yes.
what generative AI does is it creates answers. You ask a question, you really ever get an answer from a generative AI product, I don't know, or silence. They always have an answer. And sometimes those answers are wrong. So you need technology to test those answers to make sure they're true and they're not making stuff up.
Wow. I understand why you don't have a lot of hair, because your brain's popping out of your head right now.
Hey,
apparently.
that's what me too.
Oh my gosh! I'm working with one next to me here as well. I mean, it's mind-boggling. Of course, I am not up to date on all the latest stuff, and I would imagine that a lot of our listeners and viewers this morning are kind of feeling the same way, going, "What? They can do this?" So tell me about Informed IQ. What does it do?
Right. So imagine what we'll do right now is a lender will give us an auto loan, say a 40-page auto loan. And what we'll do is we'll take that loan, we'll read the loan, we will calculate the borrower's income. We will check to make sure that the doc fees are correct on the loan. We'll make sure that the signatures are right there. We'll make sure that all the requirements for the contract, there's something called a RIC, which is a contract that you get that sort of shows the consumer what's in there, and we'll check that. So we're doing all sorts of checks on the loan, and then we can tell the lender, guess what, this loan's good to go, you can approve it.
What in the world is in a 40-page loan document for a car?
You're with me. It's crazy when you think about loans. If you have like the big kahuna are mortgages, right? There are 100 pages in mortgages.
Yes.
Second one is auto, and it's not even close. And then everything else is much less. So you have, what do you have in an auto loan? You have the consumer lending application. You have all the add-on products that we talked about, the contracts for the add-on products. Yep. We'll have something called a book-out sheet, which is the value of the car. We'll have the insurance proof. You name it, it seems like it's in there. They'll have the references for the consumer. Just a lot of stuff in that packet.
It's amazing.
My God. So, in other words, if I didn't cut my toenails this weekend, it would be in there probably.
It's in there.
There's a chance.
Now, how do you get paid? Do you get paid by the loan? Do you get paid by the dealer to check the loan? How does that work?
By the lender.
By the lender. Okay. So they say, Tim, we've got a loan here. I want you to look this over and run it through your system and tell us whether it's good to go or not.
Right. We don't actually evaluate the creditworthiness, but we just make sure that all the information is there. I mean, a big thing that people have to do is, you'll have to prove somebody's income, and we'll calculate the income off of the pay statement. And what we'll also, and I guess the other thing I would just say is that everybody wants the loans to get processed faster, because until a loan is funded by the lender, the auto dealer is still on the hook for that car. So they want to get paid as fast as possible.
Right.
Sure. Now, as a consumer, I know that no offense to our dealers that are listening, and I know that we have quite a few, but I don't want to be sitting in somebody's office by myself. I'm on my 10th cup of coffee. I can't take any more. Get me out of here. Is there something that I can do when I walk into a dealership to get that process moving a lot quicker?
That is really an interesting question, because one of the new benefits of technologies like ours is that if you're in the dealer and they need you to prove your income, you can they'll send you a ping on your phone, a text, and you can download your pay stub or other types of information so you can get out of the dealer faster. So everybody is trying to everybody knows that people have things to do with their lives, and so there's ways to make these loans go faster.
So your AI doesn't actually go out and go to one of the credit reporting agencies like Equifax or anything like that. You just deal with the documents that you've got there, plus what other information I, as a consumer, give you.
Right.
And what the dealer gives him of the add-ons that are on there.
Right.
And the add-ons can be either a make it or break it deal. If you've got somebody that's going, hey, look here, man, I don't want that window tint on there. Take it off. The dealer says, I'm sorry, I can't take it off. That's part of the price of the car. This is why I'm selling it. And so, I want to know that I'm paying for the window tint in my loan, or the dealer has backed that cost out of the loan. In other words, I get it for free.
And one thing you should know also, I just should add, because I at one point in my life, I worked for something called the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, which was a consumer protection agency. And the government right now is really pushing to make sure that consumers don't get what they don't want. So they are going after folks who are adding services to products that consumers didn't want to buy, or telling consumers that in order to get this car, you have to buy this 10-point contract for $2,000. So there really is a lot of pressure right now to make sure that consumers are not getting junk fees in their products, which is, I think, a great thing.
I do too. And how can we ensure ourselves that that's happening?
Well, I think obviously looking at your contract, knowing that you don't have to pay for something if you don't want it, and being mindful, like making sure, for example, that the auto warranty from the manufacturer isn't being duplicated by the vehicle service contract.
Right.
People shouldn't have to pay twice for the same thing.
So can I just call you on the phone and say, Tim, I'm going to buy a car here. Is it okay if I send you this document?
Well, hopefully my advice can be repeated through AI. I'm happy to help, for you guys, but definitely there are. I think the thing I'd like to just tell the audience is that, there is technology watching out for them. So if you're buying a car, somebody in the back end is checking to make sure that you're not being overcharged for, registering your car, that you're not being overcharged for if you buy a Gap product. So that's good to know that lenders are putting processes in place today to make sure that consumers are protected.
Tim, I want you to enjoy your beautiful day up there in Washington, and enjoy that weather, and think of us poor folks down here on the coast of Texas suffering in this air conditioning. I just wanted to
enjoy the air conditioning.
Exactly. Hey man, we really thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate it. Wealth of information. It's Tim Oshowitz, Vice President of Legal and Regulatory at Informed IQ. Thanks so much, Tim.
Thanks, Tim.
Bye.
That was
lots of information.
I know.
I still don't get the big documents. I just don't understand it.
Well, I can't. Have you ever tried to read any of that?
I know.
It's all legalese and lawyerese, and I don't understand a lot of that. I can kind of put things together and think, well, that's probably what they mean, but I don't know for sure.
And it would also probably depend on the dealership you go to, too.
Yeah.
Pre-owned versus, a dealership like Emmons Brothers is a little different, I would imagine, than a Cadillac store.
Right.
Or a Ford store. So.
Although I've heard some really good things of some really top-notch dealerships in town, all above board.
Right.
And I've heard, they charge more. I kind of doubt that.
Yeah.
Because they got to compete with all the other dealers. It's just how they go about it.
Right.
So, at any rate. Hey, the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show is available 24/7 through the iHeartRadio app. Just look for In Wheel Time Car Talk. And a new daily podcast is available from your favorite podcast provider. We also video stream our 3-hour weekly show on Facebook, YouTube, and InWheelTime.com. The In Wheel Time Car Talk Show continues right after this quick break.
Pro-Am Auto Accessories has been serving Houston's auto enthusiasts since 1984, providing world-class products for sports cars, European sedans, and American muscle. Pro-Am is known as the place to go to find exclusive and hard-to-find parts and accessories. Pro-Am is one of the very first distributors in the USA for brands such as Recaro, Redline, Momo, Corbo, and Simpson. Located in the heart of Houston's premier retail and service corridor, the Galleria area, Pro-Am's walk-in storefront includes an 8,000 square foot warehouse, showroom, and installation bays. Pro-Am not only sells parts and accessories, but also offers installation and service. Pro-Am is now reaching a worldwide audience through Pro-Am.com, taking its local reputation to the rest of the world. At Pro-Am Auto, you'll be dealing with a small group of professionals who truly want to help you with your automotive needs. If you don't see what you're looking for on the website, call and Pro-Am will lend you a hand. Pro-Am Auto, 6125 Richmond at Green Ridge in Houston's Galleria area. Call them at 713-781-7755. Want to feel good about something special you did for someone special? In Wheel Time and the original Lupi Tortilla group of Tex-Mex restaurants have joined together to help a very worthy cause, God's Garage, a Christian-based 501c3 charity. We know there are lots of places and organizations out there where you can donate a car, truck, or SUV, but we're asking you, our car enthusiast family, to consider donating to God's Garage. Visit godsgarage.org and learn about its mission, the women that have been helped, how each one is screened, and about their Restore You program. A car donation is an easy way to make a difference in the lives of others. God's Garage needs good operating vehicles, but will take all types in working and non-working condition. Make your heart and soul feel good by donating your gently used vehicle and help support single mothers, widows, and wives of deployed military at godsgarage.org.
Hey, if you'd like to get in touch with us, you can always shoot us an email. The address is info@inwheeltime.com. All right. Inside Jeff Zekin's mind.
Hold on. We got to load this puppy up again.
And it's kind of like close the door. But I have to tell you that I have heard this now for a number of years. Rumors of Chevrolet making an SUV kind of Corvette.
Yeah.
And I, when you told me that you were going to do this, I thought, well, now let's just think about this for a minute. Lamborghini's got one. Porsche's got several.
He's doing the review.
I'm sorry.
It's all right.
Well, I'm not trying.
You know, over the years, some of the custom car builders have built station wagons,
right?
And
yeah,
different variations.
And you know, we talked about AI. We just had Tom on from AI, or that
Tim.
Yeah, Tim.
Tom.
Nevertheless, AI is big part of the world now. So even the words, the article that I pulled this from was generated by AI. These pictures are generated by AI, and here we go,
Really?
Michael. Yeah.
Okay, let's go.
All right, so SUVs are the obvious brand expander du jour for sports car makers around the world, Don, like Aston Martin, Lamborghini, Ferrari, like you said. What would a Corvette UV look like? Maybe it would look like a Hyundai Ioniq 5, which took SUV of the year, but it's also being called a hatchback. Categories are blurred. When an AI image generator was fired up to mash together thousands of images based on human-entered information for a Corvette SUV, it's no surprise that the results range from Corvette to more SUV. The most surprising thing is some of these things look pretty good. I kind of like them. They're pretty groovy. Ultimately, General Motors will make the call on what the Corvette SUV will look like, and there's a lot of AI-generated ideas blended with sports car SUVs that look better than you might think.
Can I just interject something here? Hold that there, Mr. Morris.
Yep.
Here's the problem that I see.
Mm-hmm.
When it was a front-engined car, I could definitely see it as a CUV or an SUV. But now that it has a rear engine or mid-engine, whatever you want to call it, I'm going, okay, that means you've got to put the back end of it over the top of the engine to make it a real SUV. I don't know.
Well,
just
no,
saying.
yeah, these aren't mid-engine. These are still the front wheel. Front engine car.
I think they're going to be electric.
Well, these AI-generated SUVs have a lot of muscle. Some are, sporty creases and, you're right, Mike. Sporty creases and the idea of how some of these are related to a C8, but all the variations of the AI-generated look the same, plausible. Some are desirable, some are kind of hideous, but hopefully it will be a performer. The sharp angular roofline with the hidden A-pillars is also a nice touch, making it look contemporary and futuristic. The large vent on the rear door is pure fantasy. It looks kind of pointless to them. The Corvette SUV would be a front-engined vehicle, Don. Therefore, no need for the C8 styling and intakes for a mid-engine mounted power plant. So hopefully it would be replaced by the prominent design. These are many current Hyundai models because they're basing everything on a Hyundai design for the AI. So would you buy it? I probably would. If it was affordable, I'd do it. You'd have to see one, have to drive one. Some of these are kind of space age and really don't look good, but some of them do. So that's going to be coming down the
pike.
The pike, the design pike. Some of these youngsters that are in the design rooms, they'll be able to figure it out.
Well, so is it going to be a Corvette or a Corvette ZUV, or is it going to be a Cadillac? Because I would like to think the Cadillac line would really zoom ahead in that era. And does Cadillac really have anything like that? No.
They've got the electric Lyric. That's pure electric.
I hear where you're coming from. It's more station wagon.
Well, you got the XT4, the small Cadillac SUV. You got the 5, and you got the XT6, which is the large, almost the size of a little bit smaller than, say, a Tahoe.
Yeah,
so
you're right.
They're in there.
Good point. So who's to say? Darn good and well in the Skunk Works inside General Motors Chevrolet division that there are things going on in that regard, because they're not going to let the entire world walk off and leave them.
No.
So anyway,
there it is.
That was a good story. I was all in. Of course, Corvette stuff. I can't help myself. You know that, don't you?
Too late. Motor Trend. Is that what you want me to say?
Well, the images, that's where the images came from, so you have to give them credit.
Oh, okay.
You don't have to, but you did.
Well,
it's all AI.
If when they call, I'll send it to you.
Okay.
Yeah, do that.
AI.
Yeah, Mars gets to fend off all those calls and all those kind of ugly things.
Ugly.
Hey, today's In Will Time Car Show is sponsored by the group of original Lupi Tortilla restaurants in Houston, Beaumont, and College Station. So when you're in any of those cities, the original Lupi Tortilla is out there at Highway 6 and I-10. And by the way, I was thinking, we were talking about Stan and the Lupi Tortilla brand. There aren't too many brands around here that have the reputation of the Lupi Tortilla, and it's really neat to know that you can go to the original and see how all of the others are designed with that little house in mind, with the little rooms and that sort of stuff. Anyway, Gulf Coast Auto Shield is also one of our sponsors, and Pro-Am Auto Accessories, and we thank them for being with us. All right, time now for a quick break. We are back on the In Will Time Car Talk Show right after these messages.
Everyone at the Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise In at the Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy, thank you for participating in the best cruise in around, and look forward to seeing you again. You'll hear about the next cruise in date right here on In Wheel Time. Next time you're in the West Houston Energy Corridor area, be sure and stop in at the original Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex at I-10 and Highway 6, or the Katy location on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard. When passing through Beaumont or College Station, stop in and have Lupi's award-winning beef fajitas and frozen margaritas. There's always a celebration at Lupi Tortilla. Lupi Tortilla founder Stan Holt and his wife Sheila are winning racers on the NHRA drag racing circuit and have a collection of hot rods and classics that everyone appreciates. Look for them at the next Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise In. The date will be announced soon and will once again be held at the Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex on 99 and Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10 and Katy. We'll give you all the details right here on the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show and online. Donations benefit God's Garage. We'll see you then. You own a car you love. Well, why not let Gulf Coast Auto Shield protect it? Houstonian John Gray invites you to his state-of-the-art facility to introduce you to his specialist team of auto enthusiasts. We promise you'll be impressed. Whether you're looking to massage your original paint to a like-new appearance, apply a ceramic coating, install a paint protection film, nano-ceramic window tint, or new windshield protection called ExoShield, Gulf Coast Auto Shield is where Houston's car people go. Curbed your wheels? Instead of buying new, why not have them repaired? How about a professionally installed radar detector? Gulf Coast Auto Shield does that too. Get a peek inside the shop and look at the services offered by getting online and heading to gcautoshield.com. Better yet, stop by their facility at 11275 South Sam Houston Tollway, just south of the Southwest Freeway, and get a personal tour. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is your place to go for all things exterior. Call them today, 832-930-5655 or gcautoshield.com.
You got us. The In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show today, coming to you from Home Sweet Home, Sugar Shack Studios just outside Houston, Texas. Coming up, we talk to Steve Moore with Campin' Car. Oh, this is going to be good. Jeff has the Cruise In calendar. We'll have the stories making automotive news headlines this week in this segment coming up. Howdy, along with Mike Out of This World Moors. We always need more Jeff Zekin. I'm Don Armstrong. Glad you could join us on this hot Saturday.
Here is sleeping in.
Oh, David Ainsley is sleeping in this morning. He did a fantastic job of bailing my butt out when my computer crashed and burned last week.
It's always good to see David.
It is.
He's a nice guy. He's a smart man.
Yes, very much so. And, so if you hadn't heard the story, last week's remote that we had up at the Lone Star Street Rod Association State Run in Granbury, I got up early because I hadn't finished everything. I'd been on vacation the week before, and I was going to get on the internet and get some stories and work on my car review and that sort of stuff. So I had to get on the hotel hotspot, the public
Wi-Fi.
Yeah. Well, guess what happened? It got some sort of a little hiccup.
Got a little infection?
It got a little infection in it. And when I went to power it up when we got there at the remote, it would not power up. David says, give me that. What have you done, Don? What have you done, Don? David, I didn't do anything on purpose. I just went to the hotel hotspot.
I just did it.
And it's still trying to recover, and it never will. So I have gotten myself a new computer coming that it will be locked down and be so clean that nobody will ever know that there's anything other than the In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show stuff on there.
He reached in his bag of pixie dust and sprinkled it like what's the Disney character, the Tinkerbell? Yeah, that's it.
Ooh,
Tinkerbell pixie dust.
I like that. I could see me being Tinkerbell for a very short while.
A lot of people can.
I know they can. All right, so joining us now is the managing director of Campin' Car, Mr. Steve Moore. Steve, good morning.
Hi, good morning to you.
Wow, you sound great, man, and thanks so much for joining us. Modular camping furniture to transform my vehicle into a comfortable home on wheels. You know,
that's the goal.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you this, that, rent, mortgage payments, they're high. And I'm thinking maybe this is the future for me.
Yeah, a lot of people are feeling that way. And some of them, are doing it just because it is, just like a new way to be in a lot of ways. At least embracing what maybe is an old way to be in a new way for a lot of people is like, being nomadic, not being tied to a specific spot all the time, and embracing kind of like the flexibility that lifestyle, whether it's a lifestyle you're embracing full time or a new way you want to travel, has a lot of potential to be, really enjoyable and utilitarian too.
Well, Steve, I have to tell you that when Mr. Mars told me that you were coming on the show and told me what you were here to talk about, all I could think of was, I think it was the Nash Rambler or one of those cars from the 50s, where the back seat folded down and it married up with the back of the front seat.
Yeah, the passenger
and you could make it into a bed.
You got to bring that back more with cars. There's not enough of them that can do that these days, and that's why that's why there's products now.
Except with a dad with daughters and the comeback of drive-in movies, I'm going
population increases.
Maybe not so much in that category.
Yeah, fair enough. But
so, Steve, let's talk about the things that Camping Car does.
Oh man, there's a lot of things we do. I mean, first of all, kind of what you touched on is there's a sort of furniture kit that we offer, multiple furniture kits, coming out with new ones, in July, probably this summer, where you basically can buy something from us that helps, turn your car into a more comfortable sleeping kind of organization, camping arrangement, elevated bed platforms with the kind of modular features, sort of shelving units, things like that. People can buy that from us, and they can, throw it in their minivan or their SUV or van or truck bed or whatever, and kind of organize it a little better for camping. And then, we're a bit on a different end of the country here in Washington State, but we have a shop, like a full service conversion shop, where we do everything from full fancy van builds and Mercedes Sprinters to small car camper kind of custom conversions, and just a wide variety of vehicles and trailers and you name it. We converted a Honda Fit into a camper one time. There's just so many ways that you can make it happen, and we're kind of there to do it.
Sorry. We have to ask you, do you happen to know the Lilienthal's?
No, I don't.
Oh my God!
They're up in your end of the country.
They're in Oregon though.
Yeah, they're in
Oregon.
They're
close.
Just a hop, skip, and a junk. And these folks of ours, we're gonna hook you up, because the Lilienthal, they're world travelers in their Pajero.
Yeah.
And
they sold the Pajero.
They sold the Pajero?
One of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
They just did the Elcon 5000.
Yeah. And they're into what you got going on there. And so we need to get you guys together. There's no doubt about that. So, the Lilienthals, what is the name of their website, Morris?
Crankshaft Culture.
Crankshaft. Write that down.
Crankshaft Culture.
Crankshaft Culture. And when you write them, tell them that we hooked you guys up together, because this has got you all need to be married.
Yep.
At any rate, so let's continue on. Okay, so I have this vision, and that is that I've got a 6-7-year-old SUV. I don't want to go. I don't want to pull a trailer. I want to do the camping thing. Yeah. I don't want to do the camping thing. I don't want to sleep on an air mattress and get cold at night and hot during the day.
Set up a tent.
Yeah, I don't want to do all that. But I'm interested in somehow getting something to attach to the hatch on my SUV and make it into kind of like a tent, if you will, but it's also attached to my car. You got something like that to help?
Something is it like external?
Yes.
Or like are you in the car? Okay, yeah. So we don't sell like the external like tents and stuff, but we definitely install them for people. And there is a ton of rooftop tents out there in the world that like are kind of marry nicely with what we do, and we help people sort of kind of come up with builds that sometimes like go really nicely hand in hand with their rooftop tents, because they're really like a cool kind of convenient way sort of have that camping tent experience, but it takes like a couple minutes to get it going. It's on the roof of your car. You're like nice and elevated, so that's definitely an option.
Let me ask you.
Yeah.
So in Don's case, he's got his 6 or 7 year old SUV.
Yeah,
and he doesn't even want to pay for a Motel 6, so he wants to go across country, and he's looking for a way to sleep in his car. Doesn't want to do the whole tent thing, but he wants to be comfortable sleeping in his car.
Right. Sure.
So come on, hook me up. Tell me what I need, Steve.
Right. Well, depending on the SUV you have, we might have a platform bed or something like that would work really well for you. You might.
Well, I'm thinking about my Cadillac Escalade. Okay, I just said it.
A Cadillac. Oh, that's a big SUV. Yeah,
Thank you.
You got space in that thing.
Yeah.
We could hook you up with the trunk bunk probably. And
a trunk bunk
with 4 families.
Trunk bunk. That's right.
And that's a product that you have.
That is a product that we have. Yeah, it's a nice elevated sleeping platform that has a cool expanding and contraction feature. So like you can make it wider or narrower depending on kind of how much stuff you have back there. Let's say you've got several suitcases alongside your bed. Like you can make it an appropriate width for that. And then you just gotta throw that in the back of your car, maybe secure it down a little more, and you can be on your way. You got room underneath the platform to store stuff, and you're hotel free at that point.
Now, what about chairs at the campsite?
Oh, I mean, I don't have a chair for you that we make personally, but there are a lot of really cool, like, small camp chairs you can buy these days that'll fit nicely
you get those for
within
$10.
the whole thing.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm going to drill you down now, and so you tell me what you have to offer me.
What I've got for you?
Yes.
I don't have a chair. I'm sorry.
No, I know.
Okay, well,
we understand that, but what do you have?
Yeah,
is there a
like
catalog?
I said, we got the trunk bunk. We got some shelving units that might work nicely for you if you need something to put like your books on, or you got like you want homey in there, right? You don't want it to be like a total Spartan thing, so you want some nice hominess. And depending on whether you're coming to us or we're sending stuff to you, we can do just about anything. We can put a toilet in there if you want us to.
Really?
So he's got a bed inside his SUV, but he needs a place to eat. Like a table.
Sure. Yeah.
Like a steering wheel
we can build a table in there for you.
A steering wheel table?
Oh yeah, the steering wheel table. We could throw one of those your way. Yeah.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah.
And now we got to have some power.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I would recommend getting something like a Bluetti or a Jackery or a Goal Zero charging station.
Yeah.
And you can get like one of those little flexible solar panels and stick that outside during the day while you're camping and charge that up, or charge it with your 12-volt outlet in the car, and then you've got plenty of power for your phone and whatever else you might need.
Now, we get a lot of rain. With the rain comes the bugs. What do you got for that?
Oh, yeah, that's a great question, especially considering you might be a little hot where you're at in Texas.
You think?
You've got rain and bugs and heat all at the same time. And so, things like there are these like mesh covers you can put on your windows when your windows are rolled down at night, so you've got airflow in your car, so you're not like just totally, you don't want to have your windows open because there's bugs, but you don't want to have them closed because it's hot. So there are these mesh covers you can put over the windows that work really well that kind of allow airflow but prevent things from coming in.
Now we got to have a car fan.
Yeah, you got to have a car fan. You plug that in your little 12-volt power system. That's going to help move the air around as well. I mean, AC is nice, but that's pretty power intensive and pretty expensive to have in a true off-grid sense. So moving air around is the second best bet for sure.
Well, will that Jackery or the Bluetti you were talking about, would that run Don's blow dryer for his hair?
It might, yeah, probably, as long as you get one with a big enough inverter.
Have you seen the size of his head?
Yeah, it's big. Now, I've got to have me a little fridge, and ice just ain't going to cut it for me all the time.
Yeah, there's a lot of good little portable fridges out there these days. A lot of chest fridge style. They're like little coolers, but they got, like temperature control set. And you can actually turn them to freezers too. So if you're like really into hunting or fishing and you want to have your game on ice, or you want to freeze it for a long drive home, then you've got like from Dometic or Set Power. They've got all these cool little like fridges these days that you can plug into your your battery system, and those will keep anything cold for hours.
Nice. Now let's talk about campfire.
Sure.
Can be dangerous, but it can also be tons of fun.
That's right. Yeah, you gotta be careful with campfire.
What would you recommend in that regard?
I mean, for the average person, when it comes to campfire, just do it in a designated pit, or they've got these like portable campfire pits. When I was living out of my car in Alaska, I had like a little like portable campfire pit that like kind of was like, it was like a fold out metal thing.
Yeah.
And you could stick it anywhere, and you're keeping your fire contained off the ground. It was pretty sweet.
Well, all I can think of, especially right now, is breakfast, and I'm thinking I don't want to get some big, huge campfire just for my bacon and eggs. And
you never tried to roast an egg on a stick over a campfire before?
Not yet.
That's a good way to break a Yule.
I guess it really depends on my mood from what I've ingested the night before.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, absolutely. You can get one of those like Coleman, propane stoves. That's kind of that's the best bet for most people. But you can also go fancier with it if you want. We've installed like some induction cooktops in vans before and things like that. Someone's like, I don't want to deal with propane. Give me that sweet electrical.
It puts that certain kind of outdoorsy taste on the meat.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So that's a question. What kind of vehicle do you see the most of using these kind of products?
We see, a lot of larger SUVs and minivans in particular. I mean, we definitely serve some smaller cars for sure.
Ainsley's van.
Yeah. You get a lot of the van, small vans, bigger SUVs, pickup trucks. Because ultimately you need regardless of like how you're setting up your car to sleep, you still need a car that's big enough to accommodate your laying self down.
Right. Right.
Some cars, like I was saying, like we did a Honda Fit one time. If you're 5'0", it works great. But if you're like me and you're 6'3", you're gonna have a hard time sleeping in a Honda Fit. So,
well, I have to tell you, it seems to me the perfect vehicle to have would be a minivan.
They are pretty ideal for camping in a lot of ways. Yeah, just in terms of like size and economy and kind of the balance of all those things. Like they've become very popular for camping for sure.
So I was just going to say the Chrysler Pacifica has got that stow and go in the floor.
Yeah,
you got all that extra storage
Caravan
space. Everything you can fold down into the floor,
or just a full size cargo van without the seats, like a full size Chevy or Ford. And then have you outfit it? Can you do that to look
many times. Yeah. So we have a full van conversion shop here in Washington, and we do, like I said, everything from Sprinters to Chevy Express, Ford Econoline, Ford Transit, Ram ProMaster, the smaller cargo vans like the ProMaster City. We've done a ton of different vans, and we see a lot of the newer ones like the Sprinter and the Transit and the ProMaster, but we'll say yes to pretty much any van. We had a woman from Texas drive all the way up to us to work on her Ford Transit Connect just because she was having a hard time finding a company that would work on like her smaller van in your area. So,
I want to know about power generation. Do you have mobile generators that you can, kind of semi-permanently mount inside, say, for instance, a nice-sized cargo van?
Yeah, you don't actually see a ton of people using generators at this point in, like, the van world for power. It's a lot more solar is being used. People are mounting solar panels to the roof of their van, or we're connecting like their alternator to their house battery system, so when they drive they get a nice charge, or they might have a shore power inlet on the outside of their vehicle, and on occasion sure you could have like a tiny little Honda generator if you really needed it to charge up your van, but it's amazing how much power you can get with the combination of solar and alternator charging alone.
Very interesting. Do you have something like something along the lines of like an outdoor shower or something?
Oh yeah, outdoor showers all the time. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you've got like sometimes just outdoor shower out the back of a van. So like when you open the doors, you can put like a little curtain between the doors and you can shower outside. Or there's like these things called the solar shower now that people buy. It's not really something like we're installing, but you see people who are like doing minimalist car camping, buying these these showers. You like hang them up on a tree or something, and then like they get warm from like being exposed to the sun, and then you just like open it up and it just showers on top.
Gravity feed type thing.
Exactly. Yeah, it's the simple way to go. And then we'll build a shower inside a van too, like a full little tiny half bath with a shower and a toilet and stuff. So sky's the limit, man.
Well, I find it all fascinating and very interesting. So it's campandcar.com.
That is the website, yeah. So if you're like definitely curious about like, you know, and I encourage people, like, even if you're not able to work with us, or like if we're too far away for a custom build, or the kits that we have aren't really like suited to your needs, like just take a look at our portfolio and like really like check out all the different ways that like it is possible to outfit different kinds of vehicles in creative ways that maybe you look at that and you get inspired to do it yourself if you're really handy, and you know you don't want to pay us to do it. Like, check it out and
get
you know
some
kind
ideas.
of expand your expand your thinking around like what kind of camping is possible.
Wow.
So in other words, I don't have to go and buy the boom box anymore. I can just turn up the car stereo and I can rock myself to sleep in the back of my
There you
SUV.
go.
Yeah.
Just make sure you don't run your car battery dead because you're sleeping in your car at night, right? You
That's
know,
it.
playing too much music, you get in trouble that way.
Yeah.
The music's not too big a draw. It's the videos that'll get you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You would know more about that than me.
Just saying.
You mean like playing your little movie off your little car TV that's coming out of the roof or whatever?
Yeah.
That kind of thing. Steve, it's great to talk to you, my friend. Thanks so much for joining us. I appreciate you.
That's really
Yeah,
cool.
you're very welcome. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Steve.
Campandcar.com, CAMP with the letter N followed by CAR. Y'all have fun. Enjoy yourself up there in the Northwest.
Oh, we will. Y'all take care.
Thank you. Steve Moore. And the In Wheel
Very
Time Car
good.
Talk Show is available 24/7 through the iHeartRadio app. Just look for In Wheel Time Car Talk. Podcasts on your favorite podcast provider. We also video stream our 3-hour weekly show on Facebook, YouTube, and InWheelTime.com, 8 to 11 a.m. Central Time every Saturday. The In Wheel Time Car Talk Show continues right after this quick break.
Pro-Am Auto Accessories has been serving Houston's auto enthusiasts since 1984, providing world-class products for sports cars, European sedans, and American muscle. Pro-Am is known as the place to go to find exclusive and hard-to-find parts and accessories. Pro-Am is one of the very first distributors in the USA for brands such as Recaro, Redline, Momo, Corbo, and Simpson. Located in the heart of Houston's premier retail and service corridor, the Galleria area, Pro-Am's walk-in storefront includes an 8,000-square-foot warehouse, showroom, and installation bays. Pro-Am not only sells parts and accessories, but also offers installation and service. Pro-Am is now reaching a worldwide audience through Pro-Am.com, taking its local reputation to the rest of the world. At Pro-Am Auto, you'll be dealing with a small group of professionals who truly want to help you with your automotive needs. If you don't see what you're looking for on the website, call and Pro-Am will lend you a hand. Pro-Am Auto, 6125 Richmond at Green Ridge in Houston's Galleria area. Call them at 713-781-7755. Want to feel good about something special you did for someone special? In Wheel Time and the original Lupi Tortilla group of Tex-Mex restaurants have joined together to help a very worthy cause, God's Garage, a Christian-based 501c3 charity. We know there are lots of places and organizations out there where you can donate a car, truck, or SUV, but we're asking you, our car enthusiast family, to consider donating to God's Garage. Visit godsgarage.org and learn about its mission, the women that have been helped, how each one is screened, and about their Restore You program. A car donation is an easy way to make a difference in the lives of others. God's Garage needs good operating vehicles, but will take all types in working and non-working condition. Make your heart and soul feel good by donating your gently used vehicle and help support single mothers, widows, and wives of deployed military at godsgarage.org.
Hey, thanks for joining us on our live stream this morning here on the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Jeff has the Cruise In calendar.
Yes, and you know what today is?
Oh, well, it's
Saturday.
Father's
It's
Day
Father's Day weekend. That's
Yep.
right, and there's a bunch going on. You got Father's Day weekend meetup at Twin Peaks in Webster. Webster, Texas, Twin Peaks. You should find it. The only one out there. It goes to about 11 noon today.
That's that
around
place
there.
that hires those college girls and
that's where I want to go with my dad.
There you go.
For Father's Day lunch.
Fun day with Dad at Wetland
Yeah.
Center in Baytown,
Or with your
Texas.
daughter.
1724 Market Street, and that goes till 1 p.m. this afternoon, Michael. And then there's a new one called Slammed Enough. Texas Car Show, 2024 version. It is at 9055 Airport Road in Conroe, Texas. It goes till 6 p.m., 1 to 6. So that's a good afternoon cruise. And then you got the Kroger Marketplace in the parking lot at 341 South Loop, 336 West in Conroe. That goes till 9 p.m. tonight. And then tomorrow, the big day for Dad. you've got Father's Day Car Show, and that's going to be in spring. It's going to be
all that's up north.
Yeah, that's where they're at.
It's cooler up north.
Yeah.
Okay.
Spring, Texas starts at 8:45 in the morning.
Here's one south.
You got Pearland.
That's Pearland.
Father's Day Car Show at the Faith Center in Pearland, Texas. There's a couple of churches that have these as well. So that's at 12910 O'Day Road in Pearland. It's from 9:30 to 12:30. And then you've got a Father's Day Car Show at the Grace Church, Grace Woodlands Church. That goes till 2 p.m., 10 a.m. till 2. So it's probably right after the church services. They got a car show. And then the last one, it would be the Kingwood Family Dentistry Spring Car Show. There's a couple of dentist offices that are getting together to promote good hygiene for good health for your teeth. That's in Kingwood, Texas. That goes from noon to 5 tomorrow for Father's Day.
Huh.
So, there's also car clubs and things you can get a health checkup for dads. So get out there and do that as well. Mike's going to give a health check as soon as he leaves here.
My buddy Tommy Noto, the pilot, he had a colonoscopy yesterday. I'm sure he wanted the whole world to know, but I just...
Yeah, thank you for sharing.
I just told everybody about that.
There you go.
He said everything came out fine. Sorry. Had to go there. Time now for some of the stories making news headlines this week. Willow Springs Raceway, up for sale.
What?
The founding of Willow Springs, also the first purpose-built road course in the United States, was backed by renowned sports car racing engineer and driver Ken Miles. Bill and Maxine Huth took over the track in 1962 and expanded the facility from the original 2.5-mile road course known as Big Willow to its current arrangement, a 600-acre complex of 7 racetracks embracing nearly every motorsports discipline. Since it opened on November 23rd, 1953, the facility has operated year-round, thanks, obviously, to the advantageous Southern California weather. Willow Springs Raceway has also starred in TV and movie productions, including the Ford versus Ferrari movie.
Big Willow.
The price has not been disclosed. However, a value assessment from June 4th of this year values the venue at $2.25 million, which doesn't seem like a whole lot to me.
No, not for that.
Did you ever go out there?
That's just a
Mars, did you ever go out there?
One time.
I went one time when they were doing the SRT program with Ralph Giles. And were you out there with me that time?
I wasn't there on the same wave you were.
But at any rate, so they were offering drives on the road course of Hemi SRTs, Challengers and Chargers. And I will be the first to admit that I'm not familiar with the road course. I'm not a professional driver. And I wouldn't know what I'm doing on that thing because you can get that car up to over 100 miles an hour pretty quick. So I went over to Ralph, very nice guy, said, Ralph, would you please drive me? Well, yeah, but I mean, the cars are here for, I know, but I'd like to have the experience of you driving me around the road course. So we got into a Challenger, and pretty much every turn of that track, he had the car sideways. I was a thrilled little girl going around that track. Well, as it turns out, the track officials and the officials from Chrysler at the time did not know that he was the one that was driving the car.
Oh, they thought you were doing it.
Dude, when we pulled in the pits, here they all come. And then he rolls down the window and looks at them and says, "Is there a problem?" "Oh, no, Mr. Shields. No, it's fine. Everything's fine." That car, the tires were smoking on the car when we pulled into the pits because they were street tires on there. But how fun was that? And I got him to drive me around. I was thrilled. It was an absolute blast. Yeah. And what a great track that is. It's out there real close to the Mojave Desert. And there's, slight hills, and there's a little hilly, mountainous area at one end of the track. But man, is that fun. Just tons of fun.
Yeah, $2 million to buy it, but then you have to maintain it.
Well, there's
keep
that.
it in shape.
There's
and all
that.
Yeah.
But
Look,
I mean,
if you got the 2.5 to buy it, you can maintain it.
I would imagine so. I guess that they just don't want to mess with it anymore. But I can tell you that it's rented all the time for the different disciplines.
Yeah.
I mean, they got drag racing. As well as road racing.
Commercials, TV
testing,
stuff.
people doing testing.
All that stuff. So that they do that out there. All right. Well, that was tons of fun, and I'm sorry to disappoint, and I'm sad to see. Hopefully somebody will buy it, and that they'll update it, and it will continue on, because it just would be a shame to have that let go, so to speak. All right, time now for another quick break. A reminder that we'd love to hear from you. Just shoot us an email. The address here is info@inwheeltime.com. Back after this.
Everyone at the Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise Inn at the Lupe Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy, thank you for participating in the best cruise in around, and look forward to seeing you again. You'll hear about the next cruise in date right here on In Wheel Time. Next time you're in the West Houston Energy Corridor area, be sure and stop in at the original Lupe Tortilla Tex-Mex at I-10 and Highway 6, or the Katy location on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard. When passing through Beaumont or College Station, stop in and have Lupe's award-winning beef fajitas and frozen margaritas. There's always a celebration at Lupe Tortilla. Lupe Tortilla founder Stan Holt and his wife Sheila are winning racers on the NHRA drag racing circuit and have a collection of hot rods and classics that everyone appreciates. Look for them at the next Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise In. The date will be announced soon and will once again be held at the Lupe Tortilla Tex-Mex on 99 and Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10 and Katy. We'll give you all the details right here on the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show and online. Donations benefit God's Garage. We'll see you then. You own a car you love. Well, why not let Gulf Coast Auto Shield protect it? Houstonian John Gray invites you to his state-of-the-art facility to introduce you to his specialist team of auto enthusiasts. We promise you'll be impressed. Whether you're looking to massage your original paint to a like-new appearance, apply a ceramic coating, install a paint protection film, nano-ceramic window tint, or new windshield protection called ExoShield, Gulf Coast Auto Shield is where Houston's car people go. Curbed your wheels? Instead of buying new, why not have them repaired? How about a professionally installed radar detector? Gulf Coast Auto Shield does that too. Get a peek inside the shop and look at the services offered by getting online and heading to gcautoshield.com. Better yet, stop by their facility at 11275 South Sam Houston Tollway, just south of the Southwest Freeway, and get a personal tour. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is your place to go for all things exterior. Call them today, 832-930-5655 or gcautoshield.com.
Welcome to the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show, Father's Day edition.
Woohoo!
Just ahead, Texas A&M Sports Car Club Big Shot, Kate Lilly. Also, Jeff has this week's racing calendar. And Mr. Mars reviews the 2024 Ford Maverick XLT. Howdy, along with Mr. Mars, we always need more Jeff Zekin. And IT Director of Engineering David Ainsley, who was with us last weekend, sleeping in this weekend. I'm Don Armstrong. Glad you could join us, and we thank you very much for doing such a thing. Mr. Mars, it was actually had Kate Lilly on the horn over there, and then he hung up the phone accidentally.
Apparently, I hung up on her.
Well, that's just great. You might want to text her or something. But in the meantime, I got to share this with you. Police in Florida were alerted to a car theft in progress at a Cadillac dealership by a witness who called 911.
Uh-oh.
The caller turned out to be the would-be car thief herself.
Huh.
The Lee County Sheriff's Office said in a Facebook video that the 911 caller said she was notifying authorities about the theft because she believed that would allow her to take the car without penalty. I'm trying to steal a car that's not legally mine, so y'all got to come make a report, she said in a recording of the 911 call. I'm reporting this now. What kind of a thought process is that? Deputies who responded to Val Ward Cadillac in Fort Myers about 1 a.m. on May 31st found a woman getting out of a used Toyota Corolla from the dealership.
Okay.
The woman told them she was being trained in a game of black ops to steal a car, but called 911 in an attempt to make her carjacking legal. The 911 call did help the 37-year-old suspect avoid being charged with theft because she never left with the car. Instead, she was charged with trespassing for accessing the lot after hours.
And what city was this in?
That was in Fort Myers, Florida.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. I'm thinking she needs to go back to her travel trailer and just camp out for a while and be satisfied.
Well, if she needs to sleep in it, we've got a person that can hook her up with some shelving and commode and showering.
All of that. Mm-hmm.
Yep, bed stuff. Absolutely.
I'm trying. I'm sorry, Mr. Mars?
Got her.
Got her back.
I got her back. I'll have to apologize for hanging up.
Kate, it's all his fault. He did it, and he admits it. We're sorry that he hung up on you.
That's okay.
It's Kate Lilly, ladies and gentlemen, from the Texas A&M Sports Car Club, and I have her listed as a big shot. Did I miss that by much?
No, not by much.
Oh, very much not.
And then you've got somebody sitting next to you. You'll have to introduce him.
That's the little shot.
Yeah, I am the comparative little shot. My name's Andrew Spain. I am the president of the Sports Car Club.
I
There you
see.
go.
And what, besides Big Shot, what is Kate's real title?
I'm public relations for the Texas A&M Sports Car Club.
PR.
This is my third consecutive year.
Woo-hoo, you must be doing a good job. And you've also gotten us to bite into all of the Texas A&M Sports Car Club stuff, and we're so interested that we decided to get in touch with you and say, hey.
There goes her career.
Yeah, there goes the club right there. But no, I had no clue that Texas A&M Sports Car Club even existed. Where you been?
Well, I mean, I think a lot of people didn't realize it because the club has been around for many, many, many years. It's been around since 1968. And it's taken many different forms over that time, but especially during COVID, it was a very small footprint on campus and nearly no longer existed. We've been slowly trying to rebuild this organization from scratch post-COVID.
So what kind of cars are in your club?
Any cars. We have people who don't have cars. It's literally just for people who love cars. It's the oldest collegiate car club in the world. But we hold rallies, we hold meets. We hold social events. It's just for anybody that loves cars.
Well, you guys had a great racetrack down there, but somehow, some way, a developer got a hold of it and put townhomes and houses on it. You're saying yes.
Yes,
yeah,
unfortunately.
we were at Texas World Speedway for many, many years, and then I think it would have been around mid-2010s, I believe, where it got bought, and then inevitably, they quickly tore down all the banks, and it's now housing.
Yeah.
Some of us still have some of the original seat cushions and some memorabilia, but it was a big part of the club.
Well, I have to tell you that I went to some early races there. Matter of fact, I saw some NASCAR races there. I saw Richard Petty race there, A.J. Foyt race there in a NASCAR, and I had a great time. Back then, it was typically a 2-day deal where ARCA raced on Saturday and NASCAR raced on Sunday. I also saw Indy cars there as well. And then later on in the years, then they developed the road course and went out there for a couple of events for that. And, it's a shame that that all folded, but nobody had any money that they wanted to put into the track, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And it kind of fell in disrepair. And that's a thing of the past. With great memories, though, I can tell you that. So let's talk about what you guys have coming up with the Sports Car Club there at A&M.
Yeah, I mean, we're going into our kind of basically fourth year post-COVID, and the club has seen exponential growth. Obviously, there's a lot of automotive enthusiasts on campus. Our mission is to kind of bring them all together. And so a lot of our upcoming plans is for when the school year starts back up, we're going to be resuming all of our weekly meets. We have a Cars and Coffee that happens every month. All of our random events, including like track days and autocrosses that we got to put on this past spring. We're going to be resuming a lot of those, hopefully, here in the fall.
So where are your cruise-in events? On campus in a parking lot somewhere?
So our car cruises, so we'll drive around College Station, or we'll hit a lot of the back roads in Brazos Valley. I mean, it's really nice roads around here. For our track days, you were talking about Texas World Speedway and a lot of tracks being closed. We were actually super excited that a track was just recently built in Madisonville, and we went out there for that in the spring, had a really, really good time. And so we plan on going back out there. And then for our autocrosses, we do at the Brazos County Expo Center. We do it in one of their big back parking lots.
Yeah. Do you guys have anything like a Cars and Coffee type of cruise-in?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We have one in Century Square, which is kind of one of our like little shopping areas in town. We do it every third Sunday of the month. Obviously, when school is in session, so while everyone's gone for summer right now, we don't really hold any events. But yeah, we do that. It's a little bit of a limited space, but we very much try and pack as many cars in there as we possibly can.
Yeah. And do you guys work at the university?
No. So the Texas A&M Sports Car Club is a student organization. It is completely run by students. We have a advisor who works with the university, who's I believe she's a researcher and professor at A&M. But yeah, the club is completely run by students. It's a student organization, and we do the best of what we got.
Well, yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that. I was going to say that there are some really, besides the main drag up there are some really nice back roads to get up to A&M for us, those here in the Houston area. And we need to get you guys involved in some of the stuff down here so y'all could have a cruise in. Need to get you over to the Hemi Hideout. Have you ever heard of that?
No, sir.
No? So the Hemi Hideout is a dear friend of ours. John Hovis owns the Hemi Hideout. He's out in Brookshire, and so that's kind of out west, obviously, of the city of Houston, so it kind of puts it a little bit closer to you guys. But that would make a nice cruise, I think, from A&M and College Station.
And he'd host them. He would host them at his facility, absolutely.
Yeah. That would be something that we'd love to put you guys in touch with. We like to have those kind of short little road trips on a Saturday or a Sunday, and John has them quite frequently, not every weekend, or certainly nothing like that.
But he does one for kind of open to the public clubs in the spring and in the fall, so
they could get a taste of it.
Yeah.
Y'all would really enjoy that. It's a large facility, beautiful facility. It's on his property, and it is a timber frame constructed man cave, and it's huge. And he's got, he had this collection of Hemis, and then he decided that he's going to build this homage to that. And then he decided that, there's lots of room in here, this beautiful ceiling. Let's just go ahead and get lots of neon in there. So you guys, I think, would really appreciate it. It's a beautiful facility. And I'm speaking on his behalf. He's going, why are you inviting them down here? You don't even live here. It's my place. Sorry, John, just had to. But that's one of the things that comes to mind for y'all's group, make it at a Saturday or Sunday or something.
College event, getting introduced to the networking of the automobile, us, John, the whole thing works.
Yeah. So, like all the other car nuts in the world, we all try to get together and put everybody else together and have a big party, a good get-together, so to speak.
So what type of PR work are you working on right now?
Basically just what y'all just said. I work on connecting just people who love cars in the area, because it's really hard to find like a larger group of people. So what we do, we've basically taken a lot of smaller car clubs in the area, and we kind of incorporate them more into our open public events. So that's been really good. I think we had a 600% growth in just the last year.
We went from during COVID, and when I say that we nearly died in COVID, I think there was 2 people in the club during COVID.
Sure.
And now we're up to like 200 right now.
Wow, nice.
And a lot of that is the outreach that she's been working on with like kind of smaller, really small, like kind of very small micro clubs, as well as just she's been helping out with putting on events. There's a lot of fun things you can do with car people. But there's also a lot of people at A&M looking for like social organizations to be a part of when they're not in school.
Of course.
And so we look to host a lot of those events, the social events.
What is the name? I actually attended that several years ago with Woody. I followed him up there, and it was a Saturday or Sunday event, and it was a huge cruise-in, and there must have been 1,000 cars up there at College Station, not at the campus, but there is a place to eat around there. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? It's a once-a-year cruise, and cars from all over the state cruise in up there. You familiar with it? I'll have to find out from him what it is. What is the name of that cruise?
I remember it, but I don't remember the name of it.
Yeah.
I didn't get to go to that.
I'm blanking on the name as well. I'm
right.
really searching through right now.
Well, when I find it out, I'll send you guys an email. By the way, speaking of emails, do you have an email address?
We sure do. It's tamscc68@gmail.com.
Yeah, that's our primary club communication. And then for all the young people out there, we primarily use Instagram and Facebook.
We have a Facebook.
Okay. Well, that's very good. Well, listen, it's great to talk to you guys, get to meet you and all, and we look forward to getting together with you next time you're in Houston. Be sure and let us know, and we'll do the same when we come up there. I would imagine. Let's see, isn't there a big George Strait concert coming up?
Today.
Yeah. That is funny enough, that's why I'm in town right now, is to go see that.
Yeah. Well, you and everybody else, and I can only imagine the tickets are not that easy to get a hold of, and if you do get a hold of them, they're kind of pricey, I would imagine.
Yeah, but I will say the resale market's pretty good right now. You can find some tickets for pretty cheap if you want to come down.
Well, we appreciate that. Yeah.
Yeah. Don't tell my wife though.
Yeah. The heat would probably kill me, but it would be quite the experience. I love George Strait. Big fan. I don't know anybody that doesn't. Well, listen, guys, it's great to talk to you. Thanks so much for joining us today.
And we'll be in touch.
Yeah. Let's all stay in touch, and let's get together when you guys are in town, and we'll do the same when we're headed your way.
I'd love to. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks for having us on.
You got it. Take care. All right. The Texas A&M Sports Car Club. Got it.
Who would have thunk it?
Who would have thunk it? Didn't know. The In Wheel Time Car Talk Show is available 24/7 through the iHeartRadio app. Just look for In Wheel Time Car Talk. Podcasts from your favorite podcast provider. We also video stream, what you're doing right now, our 3-hour weekly show on Facebook, YouTube, and InWheelTime.com. That happens 8 to 11, generally speaking, every Saturday morning. It happens every Saturday morning, but sometimes we shift our start time and end time.
Right.
And matter of fact, I think that we've got one of those kind of shows coming up in the fall, is it, Mr. Mars? We're going to move the show back
Open
an
at
hour
10.
or something.
Yeah, to kind of coordinate with the show being open. The event we're going to be at.
Yeah. So at any rate, we do that occasionally. We're on Facebook, YouTube, and InWheelTime.com. Hey, the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show will continue right after these brief messages.
Pro-Am Auto Accessories has been serving Houston's auto enthusiasts since 1984, providing world-class products for sports cars, European sedans, and American muscle. Pro-Am is known as the place to go to find exclusive and hard-to-find parts and accessories. Pro-Am is one of the very first distributors in the USA for brands such as Recaro, Redline, Momo, Corbo, and Simpson. Located in the heart of Houston's premier retail and service corridor, the Galleria area, Pro-Am's walk-in storefront includes an 8,000-square-foot warehouse, showroom, and installation bays. Pro-Am not only sells parts and accessories, but also offers installation and service. Pro-Am is now reaching a worldwide audience through Pro-Am.com, taking its local reputation to the rest of the world. At Pro-Am Auto, you'll be dealing with a small group of professionals who truly want to help you with your automotive needs. If you don't see what you're looking for on the website, call and Pro-Am will lend you a hand. Pro-Am Auto, 6125 Richmond at Green Ridge in Houston's Galleria area. Call them at 713-781-7755. Want to feel good about something special you did for someone special? In Wheel Time and the original Lupi Tortilla group of Tex-Mex restaurants have joined together to help a very worthy cause, God's Garage, a Christian-based 501c3 charity. We know there are lots of places and organizations out there where you can donate a car, truck, or SUV, but we're asking you, our car enthusiast family, to consider donating to God's Garage. Visit godsgarage.org and learn about its mission, the women that have been helped, how each one is screened, and about their Restore You program. A car donation is an easy way to make a difference in the lives of others. God's Garage needs good operating vehicles, but will take all types in working and non-working condition. Make your heart and soul feel good by donating your gently used vehicle and help support single mothers, widows, and wives of deployed military at godsgarage.org.
Welcome back to the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Thank you very much for joining us on this Saturday in our live show. Time now for the racing calendar. sponsored by the Texas Muscle Car Club
Yeah,
Challenge.
buddy. We got NASCAR going on today, Iowa Speedway. Tickets are still available, Mike. That is tonight.
In the middle of a cornfield?
Yeah, something like that. It's actually tomorrow, the 16th, is the Cup guys. It starts at 7. The Xfinity guys or the other stuff is going on today as well this afternoon. Drag racing is off this weekend. Drag racing is off this weekend.
I heard that.
Yeah. And then you've got the Spanish, Aramco Spanish Grand Prix in Formula One, Michael. That's next week.
You know, the
Formula
rain
One.
falls mainly in the plain.
Yeah, in Spain. It's the Grand Prix. Indy is off, and also IMSA is off. So we've got a little bye week going on.
Go have a good time with Dad.
Yeah.
I wish my
exactly.
dad were still alive.
Yeah.
I'd like to go visit him today. Mm-hmm. So for all those that, like me, that don't have a dad anymore, I hope that you've got your own family, and if not, enjoy the day. Go out and treat yourself to some loopy tortilla or something.
There you go.
Yeah.
Or find one of the local cruise-in clubs. There's plenty going on.
Yeah.
Get out there and do it.
As well. Okay. Mr. Mars, has the review of a 2024 Ford Maverick. I remember the Maverick back in the days. Well, I guess that was mid-'60s that they had the Maverick.
Yeah, Mavericks are cool.
Mid-late 60s.
They had Maverick GTs. Yeah.
Mars, you need to fix your microphone, Mr. Radio.
Four-door Mavericks.
Four-door, two-door Mavericks.
Yeah, I remember the
Maverick
two-door
Brothers
Mavericks.
on
And
TV.
what was the Mercury version of the Maverick?
The Mercury.
No, Mercure?
Comet. No.
Mercury.
It's in a thermometer.
It wasn't near as popular as the Maverick. Let's say that.
It's in a Capri.
Well, anyway.
Was it Mercury Capri?
No, I don't think
My brother
so.
and I had a Capri.
Yeah, but that wasn't the same car.
No.
But it doesn't make any difference. We'll find out the answer to
Someone
that.
will tell us.
I'm sure that they will. But in the meantime, there is a new 2024 Ford Maverick pick-em-up truck. Here's Mr. Mars to explain.
Yes, sir. It is the new version of this vehicle that was introduced in 2022. It comes in actually 3 trim levels, an XL, XLT, and a Lariat. We had the XLT with the all-wheel drive option on it. Now, I would say there is also a trimmer option that's out there, but that's a total option up there.
It's a nice place you took it for those pictures.
Yeah, you like that?
Yeah.
It is considered a compact pickup. It's basically built on the Bronco Sport platform. So it's a unibody, 4-door, 4.5-foot bed. That's the way it comes. You don't really get a choice on anything else like that. So it looks like a truck. And it does drive like a truck.
Does
and it feels like a truck when you're in it.
Quack like a truck?
If it quacks like a truck, it is a truck. Whenever you hit the bumps just right, it will quack a little bit. So up front, you're going to find that it has the LED lighting with the auto headlights, which I love, and I think everybody ought to start doing that. Got the side mirrors on the doors that are powered. Got the power locking tailgate. Got cargo tie downs inside of the bed, along with a bed liner is what we had as some of the options on it. We had the 4K towing package, which is the wiring and the upgraded cooling system on it. FX4 package also, there's an option. So we had the all-terrain tires, tow hooks, skid plates on it, so you can get a little bit of off-road on this vehicle. Got some unique 17-inch wheels on it as part of that XLT package. We did have cloth bucket seats on the inside of it, so it's not leather, it's not that fancy, it's not that upper Lariat level thing. So the second row has flip-up bench seats. It's got a little bit of storage underneath of that. It's got a rotary gear shifter, which some people don't particularly care for.
I love it.
I think they're great.
Yep.
Makes things a lot easier, a lot cleaner in there. It also had the 8-inch center stack screen. Now, so that's not necessarily the biggest, but it's plenty big for this compact vehicle. You're going to find your nav there, your Ford Copilot 360, your rear view camera, all those kind of convenience controls are all right in that. The interior storage compartments, there's some in the door panel, and they're kind of unique on that door panel. They're not full like most cars, so it's got room for larger bottles. You can actually put a big bottle in there that's tall because it doesn't go all the way down.
Like a fifth of Jack.
I was thinking a fifth.
Well, maybe even a half gallon. But when you go to close it, though, you can't just reach over and grab something. Because of the door handle on it, the door panel, the way it's made, to make allowances for that,
a real long
makes it a little bit smaller. Got plenty of USB A and C, so you got your Auto CarPlay and your Android Auto. Now, up under the hood, we had the 2.0 liter turbo engine. Now, this produces 250 horsepower, 257 pound-feet of torque, backed by an 8-speed automatic. And again, this was an all-wheel drive version. So it will tow with the tow package and everything on it. It says it will tow up to 4,000 pounds and haul up to 1,500, which that's a pretty good sized load
16
behind
tons and what
a
do you
compact
get?
truck.
Another day older and deeper in debt.
And maybe, I'd like to put 4,000 pounds behind that just to see, what it would drive like. Yeah.
But that's 2 tons.
So the EPA says you should be looking for 22 in the city, 29 out on the highway, and combined you should be getting 25. I got 20 across the 148.8 miles I drove it. And again, like I said earlier, it does ride and drive like a truck, which is kind of surprising with the unibody, but that's because the suspension and the load package and stuff, the way it's built and the way it'll carry it. Now, this vehicle, this vehicle, the base model price on the Maverick is $25,410. The base trim price that we had was $26,345. Now, you add in the all-wheel drive and some of the other features that we had for the bed liner and things, puts the MSRP as tested at $34,735. The best thing I could find to compare it to with that unibody size vehicle was the Hyundai Santa Cruz that starts at $26,900 versus the $25,410 for the base model. So,
and what's the Honda version of that?
That's the Ridgeline, but it's actually bigger. It's more into the mid-size with the Colorado and some of the other ones.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Get into that compact size.
Right. I was just looking at it as a crossover kind of thing.
Yeah, I agree. I looked at that too, but I thought the difference in the size was too big.
A small Avalanche
But this
design.
is a small compact pickup. If you're looking for that compact truck, this might be the one for you.
You're a game player, aren't you?
Yeah.
You didn't have to reply like that. That sounds kind of creepy.
He has the games rolling through his mind.
Yeah, what kind of games he's got in mind are different than mine.
I'm wondering. Yeah.
Hemmings Sold Cars Roundup.
Yeah.
I've collected some that sold recently on Hemmings.com, and so we guess what the price is going to be. I know because I'm the game show host here, and my contestants are Mike Mars and Jeff Zekin.
You go, Vanna.
Picture this, and I picked this because of your love for station wagons. This is a 1971 Chevrolet Nomad. Now, this is based basically on a Chevy Malibu. Okay, they called it a Nomad. 71 Chevy Nomad. I've never seen one that I can remember anyway, but it's clean. Looks like
And it is four-door.
Yeah.
It's not like
it's a station. Yeah, it's a station.
No,
wagon.
but like a 56.
No, it's not.
Yeah, okay.
Now, Nomad had the ribs on the back, so
Right.
you just have the ribs.
Well, I don't know about that. This is
ribs.
The front. I'll show you the picture. There's the picture. You just can't look at the price.
That's not a Nomad.
It's called. See right there. It
It's in
says
the
Chevy
nameplate.
Nomad. Whatever the case may be, it's a Chevrolet Malibu station wagon. How's that? Does that make it better for you?
Much better.
Much.
25,000.
So how much?
25.
25?
32.
32. How about 27.3?
There you go. Now, we saw one recently at, what show was that? Dang it. It was a black one.
The
Remember I was
black
taking-
and white one up at Lone Star.
Yep, that's what it was.
Oh, my God, it was beautiful. Here's a 68 Chevrolet Corvette Coupe with some lake pipes on it. And for those that don't know what that is, those are side pipes. A 68 Chevy Corvette. Looks like a small block. It's maroon in color. Got some aftermarket wheels on it. But other than that, it looks pretty straightforward with chrome bumpers front and back. 68 Chevy Corvette. What do you think that would go for?
17.
27.
Mars, did you peak?
No.
27.3.
You said side pipes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
27.3.
Oh,
Because
good for
there's,
you.
I've got my eye on one in Port Neches, so I'm just waiting for the guy to come down on the
Did you ever
price.
find out about the one at Emmons? Or did they sell
It's
it?
still there.
1970 Chevrolet C10. It looks original with one of those ugly dealership bumpers where they etch the bumper, etch
Name of the
dealership-
dealer?
Yeah, in the bumper. So this looks all original. 70 Chevy C10. Probably got a 6-banger in it.
$8,000.
18,000.
8,000 on the button.
I got one.
You got
Wow.
one. There
First
you
one
go.
in like 3 weeks.
How about a 19? I don't even know what this homologation is. It's a 73 Volkswagen that appears to have been stretched and made into a Woody wagon.
All right.
Okay, I'm going to cover it up. It's a 73 model. There it is right there.
Oh,
How much
Lord.
do you think that something like that would go for?
They got to pay somebody to take that.
Pretty
away.
much. And how about you, Mr. Mars? What would you say?
No, I would say probably 10.
They owe me $6,000.
How much?
Six.
8,500. 8,500. You could have this ugly thing. How about a 1969 Mercury Cougar XR7? Now, the XR7 was the hopped-up version of the 69, Cougar.
I'm going to go 14.
14? Mr. Mars? Looks like it looks like a barn find, actually. Looks like it's original.
I'm going to go closer to 18.
18. This one sold for $6,500.
Are you kidding me? It must not run. Something.
Volkswagen Thing from 1973. Volkswagen Thing.
Well, Volkswagen Thing would be
expensive little thing.
$5,000.
$5,000? What do you think?
No, I'm going to say 12.
12. 13,650. Well, they're rare.
They are.
And part of the reason is that they rust away. But anyway, that's the Hemmings sold car roundup for this week. I would like to remind you that you can get in touch with us by shooting us an email. Well, don't shoot it, just send it. The address is info@nwheeltime.com, and be sure to follow us on Facebook. We will be back on the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show after this quick break.
Everyone at the Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise In at the Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy, thank you for participating in the best cruise in around and look forward to seeing you again. You'll hear about the next cruise in date right here on In Wheel Time. Next time you're in the West Houston Energy Corridor area, be sure and stop in at the original Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex at I-10 and Highway 6 or the Katy location on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard. When passing through Beaumont or College Station, stop in and have Lupi's award-winning beef fajitas and frozen margaritas. There's always a celebration at Lupi Tortilla. Lupi Tortilla founder Stan Holt and his wife Sheila are winning racers on the NHRA drag racing circuit and have a collection of hot rods and classics that everyone appreciates. Look for them at the next Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise In. The date will be announced soon and will once again be held at the Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex on 99 and Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10 and Katy. We'll give you all the details right here on the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show and online. Donations benefit God's Garage. We'll see you then. You own a car you love. Well, why not let Gulf Coast Auto Shield protect it? Houstonian John Gray invites you to his state-of-the-art facility to introduce you to his specialist team of auto enthusiasts. We promise you'll be impressed. Whether you're looking to massage your original paint to a like-new appearance, apply a ceramic coating, install a paint protection film, nano-ceramic window tint, or new windshield protection called ExoShield, Gulf Coast Auto Shield is where Houston's car people go. Curbed your wheels? Instead of buying new, why not have them repaired? How about a professionally installed radar detector? Gulf Coast Auto Shield does that too. Get a peek inside the shop and look at the services offered by getting online and heading to gcautoshield.com. Better yet, stop by their facility at 11275 South Sam Houston Tollway, just south of the Southwest Freeway, and get a personal tour. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is your place to go for all things exterior. Call them today, 832-930-5655 or gcautoshield.com.
Thanks for joining us on the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Ahead, Zach Dole, U.S. News Best Cars for Teens Award. I love that. I'm chomping at the bit to find out. Later, Jeff has this week's Motor Minute, and I'll have this week's stories making automotive news headlines. Howdy, along with Mike Out of This World Mars. We always need more Jeff Zekin. IT genius David Ainsley is at home in bed, sleeping. I'm Don Armstrong. I, too, am sleeping. We thank you for joining us on our live broadcast here in the last half hour of our show. And if you're catching us on a podcast, thank you very much. Our live show streams Saturdays 8 to 11. And the podcast's a new one goes up every day. So take your pick. Enjoy.
You bet.
And speaking of enjoying, let's enjoy Zach Dole, U.S. News and World Report. Zach, good morning.
Hey, good morning. You guys hear me okay?
We can hear you great, and thanks so much for joining us today. Are you over there on the right coast?
I am. Yes, I'm a Virginia guy.
A Virginia guy. Well, that's good. When Mars told me that we were going to have you on for the Best Cars for Teens Award, I thought, yeah. I have to tell you that for my daughter's 16th birthday, I bought her a 2007 Ford Focus, 2-door, crank windows, 5-speed automatic transmission, cloth interior. It was bare bones all the way. That was in 2007 when I bought her that car. She still has that car and is still driving it this day, just outside of Boulder in Golden, Colorado, Denver area, and it now has 185,000 miles on it.
That's incredible.
It is. And so those kind of cars, I assume, still exist.
Yeah, they do, absolutely. We tried to highlight vehicles that are going to be reliable, safe, and a good
affordable,
value.
Hopefully.
Yeah, affordable, good value.
Yeah.
So clearly, you got the value part on that one.
I definitely did. I don't remember how much I paid for it. It was a repo. It had 1,200 miles on it. And they somehow trailered this thing down to a Ford dealership here in town, and I spotted it, and I'm going, I'll go over there and make them an offer. They said, we'll take it. And it has been a great car for her. As a matter of fact, she's about ready finally to buy herself a new car. And I said, so what are you going to do with the Focus? And she says, well, Dad, I'm going to keep it. I can't get rid of it. It's not worth anything. I think the most that she could ever get out of it is $1,000.
Yeah.
It's more. Every fender and every door panel, everything has been dented, and it's probably got more Bondo than the original car weighs on it. But it doesn't make any difference. It's still painted black.
car.
Yep, and it still runs and works just fine. So, at any rate, let's get going. Where do you want to start?
We can just start with the best SUV for teens in the 20 to 25,000 category. If you're watching this live, it's right behind me, the Kia Soul.
Yep.
I think if you have one takeaway from this is the car that should be. It's very reliable. It starts at $20,000. It's got a ton of safety features. That was a big criteria in our scoring. It's got to have forward collision warning, automatic emergency braking, lane departure warning, and lane keep assist.
Oh, wow.
So this comes with it as standard. It does well in crash testing. Kia Soul, it's a really great value.
Zach, I have to tell you, when I drove the car, I've driven several of them since they were brand new, and every time that they update and they send me one, I love that car. It rides great. It handles great. It's powered just right. There's so many good things going for that car. I endorse that.
And it's got room.
And it's got room in it,
Yeah.
More room than
Not
it looks like
it
we
a
have.
party bus.
Yeah.
But, it's got room.
Yeah.
So a great car for teens.
I agree.
And we've got a little bit of a twofer here. The Hyundai Elantra in the $20,000 to $25,000 category.
Okay.
And the Hyundai Elantra Hybrid in our $25,000 to $30,000 category. They're both great vehicles. Go with the hybrid if you want the fuel economy. But very premium for how the vehicle's priced. Like you said, rides nice. And a lot of standard safety features. They perform very well in crash testing. And the Elantra Hybrid in particular, it comes standard with Hyundai Link, Blue Link, which is Hyundai's telematics system.
Yep.
It's set like curfews for additional drivers.
Well, that ought to tick them off pretty good.
Right, yeah. But, you can at least know they're not staying out too late. They're not driving too far from home. They're not speeding. You can set a speed alert. So a lot of the other vehicles on this list have similar technologies, but that's just Blue Link is what it's called for Hyundais.
Sounds good. Next.
Yeah, so we got the Hyundai Tucson and the Hyundai Tucson Hybrid. Another, a lot of Hyundais on this list. Tucson's a great car. We love them. It's the Tucson, the non-hybrid one, are best car for the money and best car for families as well. So we call it the Triple Crown. Lots of space, great safety scores, lots of standard safety features. It's a really great option if you're looking for a vehicle in that segment, the compact SUV.
Yeah, I tend to agree with all these so far. What else?
Yeah. So we got the Subaru Legacy and the Subaru Outback.
Really, that surprises me.
Oh, really?
It surprises me because I always think of the Subarus that they're priced a little bit more expensively than, say, for instance, the Kias and the Hyundais.
I would agree with that.
Yeah, yeah. So they are a little bit, but you get so many safety features as standard. So it kind of works itself out. You also get standard all-wheel drive. Live in the snow belt. I know you guys don't really have to worry about that, but the all-wheel drive traction in the winter is really, really quick.
We were up in Marquette last August, up in the UP of Michigan, and probably every third car on the road was either the Outback or the other one. Very, very popular in that area because of the snow, because of all the winter
drive,
all-wheel drive.
Yeah.
Katie's best friend actually has a Subaru.
Yeah.
Loves it.
Subaru's
Takes
in every
it up
corner.
to the mountains all the time to go snowboarding. Yeah. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, so great options there. And then rounding off this list in our $35,000 to $40,000 category, I think this is a car you guys like, the Toyota Camry Hybrid. It's very efficient, 52 mpg, I believe. It's value priced for how many features you get and how refined it is. These are really great cars and perform very well. In
Zach, are you married?
I am.
Do you have any children?
I don't. We have a dog. We treat him like a child.
Well, I understand.
Do you want children?
Yeah, eventually, yeah.
Yeah. So all I can think of is, Zach, is that I'm going to tell Katie, here, honey, here's your car at 16 years old. You get Grandma and Grandpa's Camry. That is not going to go over very well. I'm sorry. I appreciate the recommendation there, but maybe if you really don't care about cars and you're just looking for mileage, and here you go. Okay, good luck.
Dependable and all that
So
stuff.
you'll be the one that be toting around your 4 other friends in the car going to the bars at the UT on Saturday night. Won't you?
Well, it's definitely going to last. It'll for sure last quite a while, from the teen car to the young adult car.
Okay.
All
right. Well, you're not going to sell me on that one. I'm sorry. It may be a great car, but that's just not for me. But at any rate, okay, what else?
Yeah, so we also have a used category. So these are 2019 to 2021 models.
Now you're talking my language.
Yeah. So we have the Subaru Crosstrek Hybrid, another Subaru.
Yeah.
It's actually a plug-in hybrid. If you want to plug in at home, drive to school, drive back, you might not even use any gas.
Yep.
It's a great option. Again, all-wheel drive is standard, lots of safety features. We've got the Elantra Hybrid in the used category as well, the 2021 model. Like the new model, tons of standard safety features. You can get the telematics system, do some curfew speed alerts on there, and it's just a great option for a first vehicle.
I got it. No, I'm with you.
The Hyundai Santa Fe 2019. It's a midsize SUV, lots of space. Young people are just as active as anyone else. So
camping, brother, camping. You remember your
camping,
college?
soccer.
Yeah, you can remember your camping days. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, maybe
Throw it on the back.
I don't know about you, but you might not be able to remember your camping days if you're me.
I know. Yeah. There's a couple hazy ones for sure.
Yeah, that's it. Yes,
purple haze.
Yeah. So that's in our midsize SUV category. And then rounding out the used vehicles, we've got the 2020 Sonata Hybrid and the 2021 Nissan Maxima. So larger cars that are very value-oriented, lots of safety features, great crash testing. So you can feel good about putting your young teen driver in these cars as a first vehicle, and they should be just fine.
I agree, and we have a used car dealership that we work with, Emmons Brothers Motors, and they have cars like that, extra clean, and depending how low you want to go, especially the used cars, obviously, depending on mileage, and they buy a range of cars. If you want low mileage, okay, we got plenty on the lot. low mileage, and they also have got some medium mileage cars as well. And obviously there's a little bit more value in those. None of them have been wrecked or anything like that. They have a history. And there's also the certified pre-owns that you can get at your dealership that usually are bargain priced, and they also have a service record with them somewhere.
Absolutely.
Usually speaking, between 32 and 50,000 miles, maybe not even that much. But at any rate, I think that those are all good choices. Like I said, I didn't have those choices when I bought Katie's car, but I will tell you that little car has been through hell and back, and it's still working.
Yeah, all the way to University of Alabama.
Yeah, that's right. Well, actually, it started off at Embry-Riddle in Daytona Beach, and then went to the University of Alabama, and now she's in Denver suburbs. But I'll tell you that one of the things that I think that you'll agree with, and you will too, Jeff, and you too. I don't want to leave you out, but if you teach them to take care of their car, there's a problem, get it fixed. Change the oil on a regular basis, and keep up with your car maintenance. That car will last you a lifetime. Just take care of it.
Absolutely, mechanical sympathy for sure.
Yeah,
you gotta, cars are like a part of the family. You gotta listen to them. Gotta know when they're hurting and take care of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Zach, it's great to talk to you. Thank you very much for joining us today. We love talking with you guys, and I guess the rumor has gotten around there at the U.S. News offices and going, these guys down there in Houston with this car show called In Wheel Time, oh my God. Are you sure you want to expose yourself to that?
Yeah, we noticed.
No, this is the fun interview, for sure. This is the fun.
That's good. Yeah, because we try to keep it on the light side over here. But Zach, it's great talking to you. Thank you so much. And enjoy I guess this is the last weekend of spring?
Spring.
Spring.
This is summer.
Yes. Well,
June 22nd is officially summer.
The day,
Remember, I'm
looking at the thermometer. It's summer.
Well,
it feels like summer.
Yeah, it does. So, at any rate, thank you so much again. Enjoy
Thanks,
your Saturday,
Zach.
and happy Father's Day.
Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Take care.
Good stuff.
I know.
Yeah.
We're going to take a quick break. We're on the N-Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Thanks for riding with us today. We love to hear from you. And if you'd like, shoot us an email. The address is info@nwheeltime.com. Our show continues right after this quick break.
Pro-Am Auto Accessories has been serving Houston's auto enthusiasts since 1984, providing world-class products for sports cars, European sedans, and American muscle. Pro-Am is known as the place to go to find exclusive and hard-to-find parts and accessories. Pro-Am is one of the very first distributors in the USA for brands such as Recaro, Redline, Momo, Corbo, and Simpson. Located in the heart of Houston's premier retail and service corridor, the Galleria area, Pro-Am's walk-in storefront includes an 8,000-square-foot warehouse, showroom, and installation bays. Pro-Am not only sells parts and accessories, but also offers installation and service. Pro-Am is now reaching a worldwide audience through Pro-Am.com, taking its local reputation to the rest of the world. At Pro-Am Auto, you'll be dealing with a small group of professionals who truly want to help you with your automotive needs. If you don't see what you're looking for on the website, call and Pro-Am will lend you a hand. Pro-Am Auto, 6125 Richmond at Green Ridge in Houston's Galleria area. Call them at 713-781-7755. Want to feel good about something special you did for someone special? In Wheel Time and the original Lupi Tortilla group of Tex-Mex restaurants have joined together to help a very worthy cause, God's Garage, a Christian-based 501c3 charity. We know there are lots of places and organizations out there where you can donate a car, truck, or SUV, but we're asking you, our car enthusiast family, to consider donating to God's Garage. Visit godsgarage.org and learn about its mission, the women that have been helped, how each one is screened, and about their Restore You program. A car donation is an easy way to make a difference in the lives of others. God's Garage needs good operating vehicles, but will take all types in working and non-working condition. Make your heart and soul feel good by donating your gently used vehicle and help support single mothers, widows, and wives of deployed military at godsgarage.org.
Hey, thanks for joining us again today on the N-Wheel Time Car Talk Show as we're getting ready to wrap up this week's show.
Hey,
but before we do
quick.
that, yeah, it did. Yeah, despite Mr. Mars and his little joke that he played on
Just
this morning,
kidding.
it's okay. Listen, I'm like the elephant that doesn't forget.
Oh. Elephants leave big messes, too.
Yeah, yes, they do. All right, time now for Jeff's Motor Minute. What do you got?
This is a land speed record. Not many people do land speed records. They're very hard to obtain. You got to go through the Guinness Book of Records and all that. But this particular gentleman, Dylan Phillips, has just set a Guinness World Record for the fastest wheelbarrow. Clocked speeds of 52 miles per hour. In a straight line speed week 2024 in Elvington Airfield in Yorkshire, England.
Is this a four-wheeled wheelbarrow?
This is a one wheel, and it's got a cart. He explains how he does it. There's pictures of it, but I couldn't get the pictures because they're, imprinted.
Copyrighted.
But yeah, exactly. He built the He built the motorized contraption in a shed in Pembrokeshire, England. The 30-year-old said it was fun and surreal. Dylan completed 2 runs in a speed trap of a 100-meter course, and the machine is part wheelbarrow and part scrap scooter, which is like a dolly. The dolly, you sit at the end of the dolly, and you strap the wheelbarrow on the front of it. And it's got like a little...
so you get pulled behind.
Yeah, you're pulled behind. You're laying back on it. He said it's uncomfortable and terrifying. Slows down the issue. It's only got brakes in the front. It's uncomfortable. It does leave you aching after a couple of runs because there's no suspension, and it rattles you to bits. Like many other madcapped ideas, this one was dreamed up in a pub. Go figure.
No.
Yeah. Ended up building a wheelbarrow for fun and little practice runs, messing around. He got up to 37 miles an hour. And then they said there's got to be a land speed record for this. And sure enough, they found one. And then they beat it. So after a few days of seeking superbikes, Aston Martins and Ferraris, McLarens and things, the auto enthusiasts just decided to build this cart and take it out to the Speed Week with all these other high-end vehicles. And they were the hit of the party. So... there you go. Land speed record for a wheelbarrow.
Did it have a recoil starter on it?
The motor was in the front. If you had the picture wheelbarrow,
you got to start the
motor.
wheel.
The motor was in the front of the wheelbarrow.
I got it.
And then the dolly was behind him, and he laid on the dolly, and it looked almost like a...
terrifying.
Yeah, but it looked like a weed eater motor on it. A little bit bigger than that, maybe a go-kart motor, something of that size.
I was going to think of Briggs & Stratton 2 horsepower.
It could have been something like
motor.
that. It didn't give the size, but they did set the record. Right. So there you go.
Jeep's domination of an annual survey that seeks to identify the most patriotic brands in the U.S. has extended to a 23rd consecutive year. The SUV brand has finished number 1 every time research firm Brand Keys has conducted the survey. It started in 2002. Despite being owned by European companies for most of that time, Jeep is now part of Stellantis, which is based in the Netherlands. Ford Motor Company remained number 2 for the second year in a row. Jeep and Ford were followed by Levi Strauss, Coca-Cola, and Disney. No other vehicle brands made the top 50, though motorcycle maker Harley-Davidson ranked 7th, and aftermarket floor mat brand WeatherTech placed 26th. Tesla last appeared on the list in 2021, and GM has not been among the top 50 since 2013. That's the patriotic brands.
Yeah. It has to be.
Uncertainty around the upcoming presidential election contributed to dealers feeling neutral about the second quarter market and expecting a similar sales environment for the third quarter, according to Cox Automotive's analysis of its quarterly Dealer Sentiment Index poll. How about the Don Armstrong Big Shoe poll? I mean, there's a poll for everything.
Poll for everything.
Yeah.
The poll for the poll.
Pole dancing.
There you go.
I was going to say there's a poll for Susie down there.
What?
The Cox survey ran from April 23rd through May 7th, received responses from 550 franchise dealers. They're going blah, blah, blah. United Auto Workers president Sean Fain.
What?
Under investigation by an independent federal monitor over allegations of retaliation against other union leaders, according to a June 10th court filing, the story from Automotive News. Monitor Neil Borofsky said he had opened an investigation in February to review allegations, including that the UAW Secretary-Treasurer Margaret Mock said she had faced retaliation for her refusal or reluctance to authorize certain expenditures for Fain's office, according to the filing. Borowski also opened a probe into the Secretary-Treasurer's actions. The 36-page report describes increasing stonewalling and non-cooperation by the union, delaying access to documents.
Well, they shut down that Canadian factory because of the strike. So
they got people out for them, so there you go.
There you go.
And there's always been corruption within the UAW for decades.
Really?
What?
Yeah, no.
Surely
Nearly
Nearly
4 in 10 owners of electric vehicles in the U.S. are likely to buy a combustion engine car for the next purchase. No surprise there. That's the takeaway of a global McKinsey & Company survey that, among other findings, concluded that charging concerns are hindering the transition to EVs. No.
Yep. That could be a cause.
29% of EV owners across the globe said they're likely to reverse course. That hit 38% of the U.S. consumers globally said their top concern was the inadequacy of the public charging infrastructure. Ding, 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 ding. They also cited concerns with high costs of ownership and detrimental impact to long-distance trips. Only 23 states have started doling out financing from the $5 billion federal program, according to EV adoption data to the end of May. Among existing stations, both public and private stations can be hard to find. Gas station options are displayed on road signage near interstate exits, while EV chargers remain far from public view. Okay.
Well, part of that $5 bazillion they want. They'll put an extension cord out in your front yard and call it an EV station.
Yeah. With your level 1 charger that takes 5 days for it to get up to 80%.
It's okay. You get $5 billion for it.
Ford Motor Company on July 1st will end its controversial and costly Model E electric vehicle certification program for dealers less than 2 years after its high-profile rollout, opening EV sales to the automaker's entire retail network in a bid to better serve customers. Moving forward, dealers will be asked to invest in training through the virtual Ford University platform and spend a minimal amount of money on 2 level 2 chargers. 2.
Only 2.
2 at the dealership. Ford in September of 22 announced a series of requirements for the voluntary program that separated dealers into 2 categories. Retailers could choose to participate either at a level that demanded an investment of up to $1.2 million or a lower tier that called for up to $500,000, although executives later said the actual costs turned out to be much lower. Imagine that. How would you like to be the dealer that just spent $1.2 million on EV infrastructure at his dealership? And now everybody's in.
Yeah.
Tesla, Elon Musk, shareholders voted strongly in favor of his $56 billion pay package and a proposal to shift the automaker's legal residence to Texas from Delaware. The company announced the results at its June 13th shareholders meeting, but didn't reveal the breakdowns. Texas Governor Greg Abbott, on his X account, congratulated Musk, quote, on getting the pay you were promised and on your new incorporation in Texas, end quote.
We're loving it.
Musk replied, thank you.
Thank you.
Ding, ding, ding.
A lot of people moving to Texas.
Well, I'm glad to report that the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show has completed fairly successfully around the state of Texas remote broadcast spring episodes.
The spring tour.
Yeah, the spring tour.
Spring tour.
That's good. Because last week kind of put an end to the touring business for the summer.
Well, summer is the key word because the heat.
Yeah, the heat. A lot of people like that one event we were talking about down in Friends where they've shifted them to the evening, trying to still make it doable in the heat.
I think that now, this summer, if you're looking for car events, I would pay attention to our car cruise-in calendar that we do each weekend because those are nice. They're either usually a Saturday morning, a Sunday morning, sometimes a Saturday night, and somewhere local around you or at least in the city.
And this week there's a lot going on, well, not only for Father's Day, but I kind of want to spread it out so that you've got some evening things because of the weather.
Yeah.
Not only that, but our show is on at certain times, a particular time, where even if you make that announcement, it's either ending or close to being over with. So we got to get them on the evening as well.
I agree. Time now for a quick break. We're going to wrap up today's show right after this.
Everyone at the Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise In at the Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy, thank you for participating in the best cruise in around and look forward to seeing you again. You'll hear about the next cruise-in date right here on In Real Time. Next time you're in the West Houston Energy Corridor area, be sure and stop in at the original Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex at I-10 and Highway 6 or the Katy location on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard. When passing through Beaumont or College Station, stop in and have Lupi's award-winning beef fajitas and frozen margaritas. There's always a celebration at Lupi Tortilla. Lupi Tortilla founder Stan Holt and his wife Sheila are winning racers on the NHRA drag racing circuit and have a collection of hot rods and classics that everyone appreciates. Look for them at the next Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise-In. The date will be announced soon and will once again be held at the Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex on 99 and Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10 and Katy. We'll give you all the details right here on the In Real Time Car Talk Show and online. Donations benefit God's Garage. We'll see you then. You own a car you love. Well, why not let Gulf Coast Auto Shield protect it? Houstonian John Gray invites you to his state-of-the-art facility to introduce you to his specialist team of auto enthusiasts. We promise you'll be impressed. Whether you're looking to massage your original paint to a like-new appearance, apply a ceramic coating, install a paint protection film, nano-ceramic window tint, or new windshield protection called ExoShield, Gulf Coast Auto Shield is where Houston's car people go. Curbed your wheels? Instead of buying new, why not have them repaired? How about a professionally installed radar detector? Gulf Coast Auto Shield does that too. Get a peek inside the shop and look at the services offered by getting online and heading to gcautoshield.com. Better yet, stop by their facility at 11275 South Sam Houston Tollway, just south of the Southwest Freeway, and get a personal tour. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is your place to go for all things exterior. Call them today, 832-930-5655 or gcautoshield.com.
Well, that's it for this week's In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Be sure and check out our website, inwheeltime.com. Follow us on Facebook. Give us a like. Tell your car friends about us and share our stuff if you would. We'll keep you connected to the automotive world all week long. Hey, when you're looking for award-winning car talk, you can find it on the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app. Daily 30-minute podcasts are available from your favorite provider. We post a new episode every day. And don't forget, we live stream this show on Facebook, YouTube, and InWheelTime.com every Saturday, 8 to 11 a.m. Central Time. The In Wheel Time Sales and Video Technical Director is we always need more Jeff Zekin. The booking agent, video editor, and people finder, Mr. Mike Out of This World Mars. And our chief engineer, David Ainsley. I'm Don Armstrong. Glad you could join us. We hope you'll join us again next week here on the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show, Saturday, June 22nd from 8 to 11 a.m. on all of our In Wheel Time Car Talk outlets. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you then.
Happy Father's Day.
Yeah, buddy.